Right then, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I really hope you can hear me, because I am live. Hello everybody! I am back in the commentary box. I am here with you guys for the 100% League race here at China again. I hope you can hear me. This is my first time using my OBS. Right then, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Don't see anything, guys. I hope you can hear me. I am live. Hello everybody! I am back in the commentary box. I am here with you guys for the 100% League race here at China again. Have you heard me? This is my first time using my OBS. Right then, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. There we go. Anyway, all technical issues have had indeed been. I am live. Hello everybody! I am back in the commentary box. Yes, hello everybody. Hopefully you can hear me well. Hopefully this is all very new to me. Using an Elgato, using OBS, using all these fancy equipment that make these streams so great and enjoyable. Unfortunately for you lovely people at home, your boy is going to be your commentator for this 100% League race season. Ignore the fact I missed last week. I was in London for the fan zone events, which were great, except the fact I had to queue for 2 hours to see a McLaren, but it was worth it at the end of the day. News is still playing and there's an echo. Okie dokie. Let me... Why is that doing that? Why is the intro music playing? I know why there's an echo. Why is it? Okay, right, we have some technical issues. If I just do that, there we go. I think the echo was probably coming from the fact I had two different desktop things going on at the same time. Hopefully that is it. Let's open that. Oh gosh, much better now. There we go. Okay, you're just going to have to guide me through everything. If there's any issues with the stream, let me know. As I said, I am very new to this. So my missus gave me a massive thumbs up with the phone to her ear, so I'm going to assume all is well. As I said, brand new to this, but each week I'll be getting better, and each week I will be your host for the 100% League race in ALR. We had a fantastic race in Australia last time out. It rained, it dried up, it rained again. Sounded very much like the weekend at Silverstone, which I was in attendance at, and you'll be all very glad to hear I got absolutely soaking wet. Thank you to my missus's parents for lending us some ponchos that were sponsored, thankfully, by Yas Marina Abu Dhabi, because God forbid they have rain in Abu Dhabi. God knows why they're making ponchos for people, but they were very useful. So yes, thank you all for joining me on this wonderful adventure. Here are our beautiful drivers that are going to do our 56 laps of the Shanghai International Circuit. These people are far braver than I. I ain't going to touch Shanghai with a 10-foot pole, and you could not pay me enough money in the world right now to actually drive it for 56 laps. So yeah, you know. That is fun, but these guys have taken on the challenge of Shanghai. We do have a single reserve. I know we have three reserves. We have Ewok in the McLaren, who hasn't joined the lobby yet. Good. We have Srivista in the Mercedes. I probably butchered that pronunciation. And we have Mad Max in the Ferrari. So we are waiting on the last couple of people. I did go live a little bit early. I clicked a button and shock hover. I am. Shock cover, I am, shock cover, I went very early because I clicked the wrong button. I thought I was saving the broadcast details for the future for next week. I accidentally went live straight away. But you know, it's all about growing. We're all growing as a family here at ALR, as I got to waffle on until people join the lobby. So, to the last couple of people, please join the lobby. I've got basically 2 hours of waffling to do, and I seriously need things to get going, because my voice isn't going to last 2 hours. Well, we hope it does, otherwise I'll be a terrible commentator if I can't commentate for the duration of the race. I will give you a quick rundown of the driver standings. I did download them, but I do fear that if I press a button, that I will break something. So I'm going to try it anyway, but we will see how that goes. Again, pressing buttons, clicking things. I got to learn. You know, it's all about learning. That is, well, okay, that's a very loud motorbike. Welcome to Coventry, because God forbid we have. Aha, here we are. Drivers. Okay. Oh God, I am. That is no. Oh, I clicked. I put it in the wrong thing. Look, I've got time to kill while we wait for the last few drivers to join the lobby. So I'm gonna kill it. You know, I am gonna click buttons. Gonna have great fun here at ALR. We always love having fun here at ALR. Unless you're me driving Australia or Japan. Not Japan. I did well at Japan. Australia or Bahrain, which did not go well. But we do not need to talk about that, people. We do not need to talk about it. That is way too big. Whoa, buddy. Need you to be a little bit smaller. Unless I could do a quick transition. No, that has gone terribly wrong. Let's delete that. Get rid of that. That is... Yeah, no, we're good. We will ignore that I tried to do that. That was way too big. I will try again for next week, folks. Do not fear. I will try it for next week. But yes, this is everything. Well, Australia, I took myself out, and then yeah, that is not working. So that is why I've quickly got rid of that, because that is not well sized. That's why we go back to just, you know, a nice little broadcast screen, which I do realise now isn't quite at the right size. But again, we vibe with what we've got. I think we're about to go. We've actually lost a driver. Okay, fantastic. I was about to say, oh, we got a driver. We do not have a driver. We have lost a driver. So that is really useful. So, yeah. I'm trying to make this the right size. Is that the right size? Can I put it down a bit? Ooh, I am just trying to make sure that I get the capture correctly. How long for Luke mission himself last season? No, we don't talk about that because I didn't actually win the championship, so we don't actually talk about that, Stephen. But welcome, Stephen. Welcome, one and all, to this fine evening. It's a lovely evening here in the UK. We're bracing ourselves for yet another heat wave, and by heat wave I mean it will inch above 30 degrees, and we all collectively go absolutely berserk because it shouldn't be 30 degrees in this country, but it is. So we will. It's Mushroom said, not Anthony. Why did I say Anthony? I miss Anthony. Right, we are just waiting on a few drivers to join. Not quite sure who decided that leaving was a good idea. But a quick rundown of a reminder for the 100% League, because obviously we had last season off. This is, unsurprisingly, 100% race distance, if you couldn't tell by the fact it is a 100% league. All the cars are not on equal performance, so in most leagues, or all leagues, cars will be equal performance. They will all have the same amount of skill. Unfortunately, this one we will have a sliding grid. So obviously the people in the McLarens, the Ferraris, your Red Bulls will be those that you'll see in our bronze tier. Some obviously just do the 100%. So some names, Vintage, Ginger, Mushroom, those who are in the lower tiers will be in the quicker cars. And you generally have your faster drivers. I don't know why Ginger's in a Williams, but I guess they think he's quick, which I guess he is sometimes. They'll be in the slower cars, your Saubers, your Williamses, and your V-carbs. So it is trying to be balanced out. You get the slower drivers in the quicker cars, quicker drivers in the slower cars. It all works out most of the time to have some pretty good racing. But it is China, and China is kind of bad, in my opinion, which I think is kind of an unpopular opinion. I think people quite like China. Not entirely sure why. But I know there were people in the chat here who remember a time before China was even on the grid. Not me, because I started watching F1 in 2007. So I don't remember quite that. Red Bull 20th in the speed trap is a fix. It is not a fix, Mushroom. You just need to do a lower downforce setup. Again, apologies for any technical issues throughout this. I know there's a little bit of a border on the stream, which I will try and iron out for next week. I've been pinged. Right. Thank you. Knowlesley is giving me tech support. I feel like my grandmother. This is where my grandmother feels when she comes to me and goes, Luke, can you do this for me? So that is, okay, fine with me. Picture screen. Let's try that. Oh, that is so much better. Thank you, Knowlesley. I really did feel like my grandmother there going, what button do I press? Jenna is slow getting and helping. I mean, Jenna, like, you got, what, third in Australia, you did a classic Jenna strategy in Japan, and then you, I think, you win the points in Bahrain, which is better than me and Dan, but that's not saying much, especially in Dan's case, because Dan is trying something new this year, and clearly not going well for him. But Dan, we love you. If you're watching, if you're not, then we can just slag you off, because you're not watching. I think we're nearly ready. Hello, E. Jesus Christ. Hello, E. Hello, Lee. Welcome to the stream. Rocket Lee in the stream. Evening all. Jesus Christ. Right. It's going to be fun 2 hours. We are readying up. We are going into China. Of course, China can be a wet race. I'm not sure many people want a wet race after we had the incidents in Australia last week, but a wet race is entirely possible. Wet qualifying is possible. Is that Luke I hear? Potentially, Lee. We may never know. This is one of the many wonders of the universe. But yes, we are going into the lobby now, and we will get going shortly. So get your predictions in the chat. Who's going to win today in China? Who's going to crash first? Who's going to spin first? Why is it Jinnah and or Mushroom? Well, Mushroom to win. Ginger, that is a bold prediction, but we will go with it. Sam says she's going to win. Very impressive for someone who is not on F1 in any way, shape or form, and doesn't even have a PS5, so couldn't actually race in the first place. Keep forgetting we are a PS only league. ALR, love heart. Yes, Equaz, I agree, apart from when I have a terrible race, at which point ALR can do one. Which at the moment has been 2 out of the 3 races so far this season. Thank you, Lee. Yes, nice to be on comms. Grateful for the opportunity. Thank you to the ALR team. Put their trust in me to handle the 100% league. I'm not sure Knowles is going to really be proud of me for that because we had some technical issues while we were waiting in the lobby. He was trying to, as still is, trying to coach me. But I should go from strength to strength as each week goes on. Although I say that this is my girlfriend's Elgato, and we are moving to separate parts of the country in 2 weeks' time. Well, this could be a very short streaming career, or I need to splash the cash and buy an Elgato, but I'm going to be out of a job at the end of the month. And get your clouds out. That is a very cloudy track. That is a cloudy track. Those are very crispy DHL signs. They look very realistic. I don't know why I'm going with that. But get your clouds out, ladies and gentlemen. It is wet here not wet, it is very dark. So we do have a chance of rain for qualifying. Anyone going to be the first one to risk the chalky bisque in the qualifying session? Anyone being brave? No one is running out the pit lane quite yet. I do have a bit of game volume. I can hear a bird. That is how peaceful the pit lane currently is at the Shanghai International Circuit. I have bird audio in my ears. Likewise, it could be from birds outside of my window, but I will assume not because I am right next to a main road. And God forbid we hear anything nice in this godforsaken city I live in. So, yeah, we will wait and see as to what who'll be the first one to go out. No one is rushing out the pit lane, which does make me think we are in for a dry session, because if rain was due to fall, I feel like we would have had a flurry of drivers zooming out the pit lane to get a lap in before the rain falls. It could just be an overcast session. It's raining in the race, according to Ginger Age. Oh boy. Okay, going to take a swig of drink, just to, fuel myself. And we do have a car on track. We have several cars on track. We are led out by the 2 Hasses, I believe they are. Yes, Equaz and Legend are the first cars out on track, followed by Jinnah. So we have 3 cars out on track, 4 cars even, as the Alpine of Kamara Racer joins them out on track. So we have on-track action, ladies and gentlemen. 2 white cars followed by 2 blue cars. The colour palettes of F1 have never been more varied than they are in the 2025 season, because everything has to have black on it nowadays, because God forbid we have cars actually at the weight limit 3 years into a regulation cycle. Of course, the big F1 news of the day, spoiler alert, don't know if it counts as a spoiler, Christian Horner has been given the old heave-ho. He will be going to the local job centre in a few days' time in Milton Keynes, because he has been let go by Red Bull. What do you think of that decision? What do you think of the fact that Horner is gone? He's been in that team for 20 years. He has led them to a lot of glory, but he has gone. The reign of terror is over. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Is it a good thing he's gone? Bad thing he's gone? Do you miss him? Do you not miss him? Were you subject to his advances? Let us know in the chat. I will also apologise for this camera angle. This is the camera angle I race with. I'm not entirely sure if it applies to every car. It does not. It is just a Haas, because I drive in a Haas, because this game is interesting. So we will stick with the Legend as we head on to the final corner. He will soon flick his ERS on and get going down the first start-finish straight, one of 2 DRS zones. You can see that more cars come out of the pit lane. Hopefully they'll keep out of the way for Legend as we head into turn 1. A very, very long right-hander that does not ever seem to end. Flashing past the kick Sauber coming out of the pit lane, round the long turn 1, and then the track drops away from you into turn 2. So, got to be careful not to lose it on the traction here. It's a very low traction point. All good from Legend. Through the left of 3 and then up to turns 4, which is just a single flick right before the heavy braking zone of the hairpin of turn 5. Purple sector 1. Unsurprisingly, the first driver to go through sector 1 at speed. He's got a purple sector 1. So Legend now coming into the long sweepers of turns, I think 7 and 8. Long sweeping again, long sweeping corners that really do punch the tyres. Also punishes you if you're not running high enough wings, because you will slide. As Lucas Percy has a 5-place grid penalty for hitting Jinnah. Not quite sure where he's done that, to be honest. I didn't capture that, but good job to Jinnah and Lucas Percy for being able to get themselves penalties. Purple set 2 for Legend as he heads now onto the back straight, which was the longest straight in Formula 1 until Baku took over, and then Las Vegas took over from Baku. So it is now the third longest straight, and Legend might be in for a cheeky toe from the Williams there of, I believe, Coupe. It is Coupe. Might be in for a cheeky toe from the Williams. We will see as they come down into the final corner. Using up pretty much all his battery, nicely done. Keeps it in third gear to minimise the traction out of the penultimate corner. He might get a little flurry of dirty air there from the car ahead, which could compromise him. Track limits very easy on the right. He keeps well away from track limits, and the time to beat is a 33.8. So good, strong start from him. Kamara Racer is next to set a flying lap. No, Jinnah did a 34 flat. What can Kamara do in the Alpine? Up to the line for Kamara. He goes P3, 34.0. So we're already on the 33s. As Ekwaz goes to a 33.5 in the other Haas, 3/10 between him and his teammate. That is fantastic. A big gap there for the Haas team, considering they're obviously in the same car. I think the Mercedes. Oh no, it was no, who popped up? RT Beat goes P5 on a 34.3, and then the Merc of Civitas goes P5 on the medium tyres, only 0.8 off pole. That is not bad on medium tyres. Of course, Mercedes is one of the faster cars, so you have to remember that the car is generally quicker with more downforce and probably slightly better drag. Marquis is on a lap as well in the V car, but love this livery. Really shame they kind of butchered it at Silverstone. I'm not quite sure why they started adding black circles to it. It's already a beautiful livery, but you know, it's V-Carb. They have a terrible name as it is in the first place. Who was that popping up? That was, I think Kamara just popped up to P4 or something. Markey goes third, one of only 3 drivers into the 133s, and only 20 thousandths off Legend. So close already, close gaps. That is the beauty of 100%. It does smush the grid together generally. As Marvsky now will come round the long final corner. Who's next? Oh, someone else has popped up. No, it wasn't him. It was Coupe into P6 in the Williams. So Williams P4 and 6 as the first ones continue, but there's still time for drivers to improve. King is on the lap. Ginger Age has invalidated. His skill clearly showing. Lucas Percy up to the line in the Kick Sauber. 33.7 goes onto the front row P2, but still 0.2 off Ekwaz's benchmark. Who will be next? There might be Marski in the Ferrari. The Ferrari that looks about as tasty as a mould-covered Greg's sausage roll. Coming around the final corner is Marski. Very carefully there, did not go anywhere near the exit curb. 34.1, P10 for him. We have an Alpine in the background, which was R2 Beat going again. Yes, R2 Beat going for another run, so he clearly has enough fuel to go again. And the sun is starting to poke through here in Shanghai. The track looking a little brighter. Jay Hings in the Aston Martin. Again, coming around the final corner, what can Jay Hings do? Reflection has retired. That is a quit on. That's a retirement on track. That's going to be frowned upon by the stewards. Ginger Age does a 37.3, but not representative because he turned off his ERS and he had invalidated. It might be representative, but I don't think Ginger is that bad. Into the penultimate corner for Vintage in the McLaren. He has not used that much battery, so he's got a lot to play with. So potentially going for a second push lap here, or 2 warmed lap. Again, very ginger out the final corner, and goes last on the 35.1. That is a lot to gain there for Vintage. He didn't use that much battery, and he was very careful around the final corner. So a lot of time for Ginger Age and for Ginger Age and Vintage to find Knowsley on an outlap. Let's check in with the Alpines. Beat was going again. Not quite sure what his benchmark time was. Not quite sure if he's up or down on it. Ekwaz also pushing, so these two will come across the line next as the fry gets out of the way. Lucas Percy up the line, he's going again. So these tyres holding up long enough to go for another push lap after a cooldown lap after you recharge the ERS. So clearly they are surviving for a decent period of time. Marski is down, he's not going to improve. R2 Beat, what can he do on his second push lap on these soft tyres? It's 34.3 is the time to beat. He does 34 flat, very good lap from him. Ekwaz, can he improve on his pole time? He can! 33.4, he's pushed the boat even further up and used up all his battery in the meantime. So he pushes away from Lucas Percy a little bit. He does extend the gap to now 0.3, so good Good showing from Equaz and R2 Beat, and showing that these soft tyres can go for more than one run. So that is very good for drivers. That also goes that they do have some longevity. Potentially, could they be a tyre used in the race? We have been told it's going to rain. We don't know when it's going to rain. So here we go. Ginger Rage has popped himself up to P12 with his first lap. He's P12. I will keep it at that for now. Vintage rounds the final corner, half tenth down in Sector 2. Finds a couple of tenths in Sector 3. He does get into the 34s, but stays in 14th. Knowsley has begun his lap. Kiki's on a lap. Vessier's on an out lap. And Mushroom is about to finish his lap. We'll stick with the Red Bull of Serious Mushroom. Touches the grass a little bit on the entrance to turn 14. Round the final corner, runs wide, and that'll be both of his laps invalidated. It would have been a 33.9 from Serious Mushroom. So the Red Bull showing pace here. Of course, again, it is a very quick car. But very good, strong job there from Serious Mushroom, showing good pace thus far, even if he did invalidate at the final corner. Vessier's pushing. Let's look at Knowsley. Oh, that kick Sauber really pushing through the S section here. He is flying, is Knowsley. He is in the Sauber, so he will not have the most pace out of any of these cars. I'm sure that Cody's will be looking to update the R&D rostrum after the recent set of updates they do sometimes. Like to twig it around a bit. So there's a chance that this kick Sauber, the one that took Nico Hulkenberg to a podium on Sunday, might become slightly quicker as time goes on. As he blasts down this long back straight, you do want to use pretty much all your battery down this straight because there is nowhere else really to use it, and there's a lot of time to be gained. Legend is up by 10th in Sector 1. Legend up on his previous best. If he can keep that pace up, he might be able to make it a Haas 1-2, but we will wait and see. As who is that popping up? Someone just popped up. It was Kiki into 13th. Knowsley in the Sauber when he's not giving me technical help. He is coming around the final corner. Battery up to the line. So a lot of battery left for Knowsley, and it's a 35.8. Not the strongest lap, I think. There's a lot more from him to come. As Vessier is coming around the final corner, he's got a Williams up the road from him, but Williams will not be a factor. That was a little bit wide for Vessier. Might have had to just slightly get out of the throttle. P12 for him, also into the 34s. As an Alpine behind starts the lap. No, he finishes it. It was Kamara Racer into P3 with a 33.6. Jinna P2 with a 33.4. So the times are improving out there. What can Legend do? He's up by nearly 2.5 tenths in Sector 2. That improvement would put him back on the second row. Can he get it onto the front row? Up the line. He can put it on pole. A 33.2. Where has that come from Legend? He found 2.5 tenths in the final sector alone. So Legend making it a Haas 1-2. He has pipped his teammate to provisional pole. Legend Equaz has held it for the whole session. Legend has now pipped him to the post. Gina should be happy with a P3. Kamara Racer P4. Lucas Percy P5. Marquis P6. Marski P7. Beat P8, Coupe P9, and Mad Max is P10. Mad Max, though, is up by a couple of tenths in his second sector split time. He is pushing. What can the Ferrari driver do? As Vistas in the Mercedes makes it, splits the Hasses. What can Mad Max do? Up the line. He goes P5 on a 33.5. People finding a lot of time out there. Track is definitely improving. So it is a Haas 1-3. Fantastic lap there from the Mercedes in P2. Equaz in P3. Jinna in P4. So these times are constantly changing. These times are going to be constantly on the move. Track is rubbing in every single second. So we will wait and see who can find even more time. Still, I think about 5.5 minutes left in the session. Is that a cheeky toe for Coupe there? It was a cheeky toe. He was pushing, so we'll see what the Williams driver can do. Slightly locks up into the hairpin, again loses the exit ever so slightly into turn 14, into turn 16, round the final corner, uses up lots of curb, opens up the ERS and the DRS. P6 for Coupe with a very smexy slipstream down the back straight, and Lucas Percy, the one that gave him that slipstream, is on his way again. He'll be hoping for a bit of cooperation now. Maybe the Williams of Coupe can give him that slipstream back down on the run to turn 14. But we will wait and see. Hings is on an outlap. The Haas of... who is that coming around the final corner? That is Equaz. Equaz beginning his outlap. He has to find a couple of tenths if he wants to take back the pole he has held for most of this session thus far. So a bit of time to find for the Haas driver. He's gone quite early in the session, but we have seen these soft tyres hold up for a second push lap. So I am sure he will go again if he feels the need to. Blasting the battery out of turns 3 and 4 into turn 6. He's more or less matched his first sector of a 24.5. So he has matched his time. He now needs to find it and more if he wants to even get back on the front row. It's very close at the moment. The top 11 covered by 0.8 of a second. So very tight margins out there. You have to make every single tenth count. You lose a tenth, you lose several positions. Equaz coming up to sector 2 split. Has it been a better sector 2 for the Hash driver? It has. He's perfect in sector 2, but he's still down on his overall best. He's still down by the minuscule of minusculest margins. Can he now get the good exit round the long right-hander of turns 12 and 13? Up now to the DRS zone, the one of two DRS zones, the longest DRS zone on the track, on the third longest straight on the F1 calendar. Can he do it? He's almost out of battery. That does not matter. He only has 3 corners to go into the heavy braking zone of 14. And in turn 15, which isn't even really a corner, it's just kind of the exit of turn 14. He'll now move to the right-hand side, up to the final corner. What's he going to do? He's going to go into the pit lane, so he was not improving enough to be able to go any quicker. So he's bolted into the pits, potentially for a new set of the soft tyres. Jay Hings is on a lap. He's on a quick lap. What can he do in the Aston Martin? He's pitting as well. He doesn't feel as if his lap time would have been an improvement. Markey is on a second preparation lap. Lucas Percy has gone P2. Hello, Lucas Percy. P2 in the Kicksauber 33.3. Look at the times across the top 8. The top 8 covered by literally just over 0.4 of a second. Some of these drivers are covered by less than half a tenth. It is a tenth between Percy in P2 and Equaz in P4. You make it a tenth and a half, and you can throw Jenner into the equation. Make it 0.2 Mad Max and Cooper in the equation. So you can see these close times here in qualifying. You're 18th in the speed trap. Well, I feel like Mark always says you're slow in the speed trap, even if you're not. So I'm not quite sure how accurate the speed trap markings are, to be honest. But we will wait and see. Kamara Racer begins their lap. Marvsky has begun his lap, because I know he was doing a second preparation lap. We have a lot of outlets. People are prepared to come out for their final runs. About 2.5 minutes less than that left in the session. So if people are coming out again, they need to do it now. We are more or less all out there. Percy is in the pits, and that is going to be Percy's session over. He will not get round again in time to be able to compete in this session. He will start no higher than second, which I'm sure he'll be happy with if he can stay there. But we have seen the rate of improvement from these drivers. Can anyone get into the 132s as Lucas Percy is done for the day? And we do have a bit of a traffic jam. We have a hash sandwich for the Mercedes. He has Legend in front, Equaz behind, as someone popped up there. Serious Mushroom into P8 on a 33.6. Good job there from the Red Bull driver. He does have time to recharge. If he has the fuel, he has time to go again, but he needs to recharge his battery and cool those Pirellis off a little bit. Everyone is on track apart from Lucas and Reflection. So everyone on track. So this track is going to rubber in very quickly. We have the V-carb of Marvsky. I think he's going to be the next one to cross the line, who's on a lap. Yes, it is. This will be it for him. He does not have the battery to go again a bit deep into 14, keeping right into out of 15. What can it be for the V-carb? It's currently P10. He's hovering on the edges of the top 10. What can he do? It's a 33.4. He improves by 3 tenths up into P5. Fantastic lap from him. Who's next? It is Kamara, who takes P5. He does beat Marvsky to P5, or Markey to P5. Good lap from the BWT Alpine, which I think is ugly as hell, but that's just me. People are improving. People are starting laps. It's going to be a flurry. Vessier, he's up by nearly 2 tenths, which be enough to just about get him within arm's reach of the top 10. He has a fly up the road. Hopefully the dirty air does not affect him through this last corner. It does not. Up to the line for the Aston Martin. What can he do? It's a 33.8. He does indeed go P11. Not quite the top 10 for the Aston Martin driver, but still a respectable lap time nonetheless. Mushroom is going to have time to get across the line to go again. Cooper has not had a good first sector at all. We will now wait to see whether McLaren of Vintage going up to P12. The Aston Martin behind him is that of Jay Hings, who is starting his flying lap. We have a few more drivers into the pits. We have Marvsky up to the line. What can Marvsky do? P2 for Marvsky at the fight. He lisses out on 8 thousandths of a second. 8 thousandths is the gap between first and second. Marvsky is right there. What a lap from the Ferrari driver. That is as close as ever, but we wait the response. There are many drivers out there. We have a long way to go in this session, even though the checkered flag is out. Next across the line, Ginger Age goes P14, finds 7/10 on his final lap. Good job from Ginger Age into the 33s. Good job from him. He will start no higher than 14th. R2B is next. He has found 2/10. Could he displace some of the cars ahead of him? If he can keep those 2/10, he can get to 12th, but that was a bit deep into turn 14. Not the ideal line from the Alpine driver. Round the final corner, he will go up to the line. What can R2B do? Is it a good lap from him? It's P5 from R2B. We have a Williams behind. Who was that behind him? That was Jinner. P8 for him. His teammate behind. Coop, what can he do? He stays in 11th. Did not improve on his final run. We have a Mercedes. What can... Oh, he's done it! Riftas is on pole, but what can the Haas do? Legend takes it back! Legend takes it back. Can Equaz take it back from him? He can! Equaz is a 33 flat. Mad Max goes P4. There's a Ferrari 4-5. What, if anything, can anyone do? Camaro Racer is done. Marsky is done. Vessier done. Vintage done. Kiki has crossed the line to go P15. Jay Hings is on the lap. Can he find himself any higher than 17th position? Up the line for Jay Hings. No, he can't. He does improve by a big chunk, but he stays 17th. Knowsley is not improving. In fact, he's going incredibly slowly, so he will start 18th. It is a Haas 1-2. What a lap from Equaz. What a lap from Legend. What a lap from pretty much everyone there. It is insanely close. Well, take Equaz out of the equation. It is very close. Wow, Z's. 33 flat for Equaz. 33-2 for Legend. 33-2 for Svivtas. 33-2 for Mad Max, 33-2 for Marvsky. 4 drivers on the 33-2. Less than a tenth of a second separates second and 5th. Lucas Percy, P6 with a 33-3. R2 beat on a 33-3. Look at these times. We have Camaro, Jinner, Marvsky all on a 33-4. Look at those laps. Wow, wow, wow. This is the tight, close, confined racing we love here in ALR, 100%. My voice is nearly gone and we still got 56 laps to go. Jesus. Oh, a quick sip from that. Wow, what a quali session. What a quali session indeed. There we go then. Equaz takes pole, is a Haas 1-2. Svivitas is P3. Ferrari's 4th, 5th. Lucas Percy 6th, but with a 5-place grid penalty. R2 beat 7th, Camaro 8th, Jinner 9th, Marsky 10th, Coop 11th, Mushroom 12th, Vessier 13th, Vintage 14th, Kiki 15th, Ginger Age 16th, Jay Hing 17th, Nosey 18th, and Reflection did not set a lap. He may have had a quali ban, I am not entirely sure. But while we wait, we will go to the lovely people that indeed do sponsor us here at ALR, and the lovely people who make this the great league that it is. And we are away for the formation lap. We are back. Let's see what has everyone gone for. Oh, we have some uniformity on the tyre choice for the most part. It is Equaz and Legend top 2 on mediums. Mercedes in P3. We have Mad Max on the hards in P4. First of the hard runners, Marvsky, P5 mediums, R2 beat 6th on the mediums. It is Alpine 6th and 7th, both on mediums. Jinner 8th, the lead Williams. Marvsky 9th in a Williams sandwich on the medium tyres. Coop P10 on medium tyres. Lucas Percy with his 5th place. 11th on mediums, Mushroom mediums, Vessier mediums, Vintage mediums, Kiki mediums. Then we have a trifecta of hard runners. Ginger Age Jay Hings and Knowlesley with Reflection dead last. He is on the mediums, so he will be looking to make places on the first lap with the cars ahead on the harder, slower compound. So we will wait and see what he can do from the back of the grid. So generally we have only 4 out of 19 drivers on hards. Everyone else gone mediums. No one's gone softs, which does surprise me a bit, because the softs looked pretty good in qualifying. But if there is rain in the race and it's coming later on in the race, you want to have a tyre that can take you to the wet weather. Don't want to be making a stop for slicks if you know rain is going to come. Obviously we don't know how heavy the rain is going to be. We don't know what lap it's going to fall, what intensity it's going to be. So we will wait and see for that. But Equaz is leading the field. You can see them all onto the straight here. He's actually made a bit of a dash down this back straight. His teammate not really in that much of a rush to follow him. So Equaz will get to the grid pretty quickly. Doesn't really matter how quickly you get to the grid, because the tyre temps will lock in as soon as you pull into your grid slot. Unlike rear left one. Yep, so a little bit of time to get to the round of the grid. Fantastic qualifying session there. Such small margins, and if they can keep that into the race, as Rocket Lee says, if the race can bring the same level, this race will be on fire. Or it might be very wet and damp, but we will wait and see as the drivers round the final corner to begin setting up for the grid spots. 100% race, 56 laps wait in front of them. This will be a test of endurance as much as it is the skill and speed of the driver. Let's hope they've eaten some big dinners, because I certainly haven't. I'm going to be a hungry boy, and it's going to be a long time till the end of this race. They're all lining up. No one's yet been disqualified. Oh no, Jay Hings has. Oh, and so is Gingervage. Yep, commentator cursed everyone. As we will wait for the 5 red lights. We will wait a little while. Oh, that was a very pointed Williams. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We will have 4. We will have 5. It's lights out and away we go here in China. It looks like a pretty equal start from the two Hasses. A good start there from Marsky on the medium tyres. Jumps his teammate at the start. It is Mad Max falling down the grid on those hard tyres. A little bit of bumping of skin. No damage as far as I can see. No carbon fibre flying off into the Shanghai sunset as they all make their way through turn 1 into turns 3, 4. No one's... Oh, there's a spin for Mad Max. Mad Max is round. He's been tagged. That includes Nosey. That includes... Oh, who's that backwards? That's Ginger Rage round in the Red Bull. So already some casualties there at the end. Not even to the end of Sector 1 yet. Don't think I can see any damage on them, but I think it was just a Constantina effect. And that is all hard runners ejected outside of the top 10. Out front, Equaz already has a 6/10 gap to his teammate, who already has 6/10 almost to the Mercedes. The two Alpines are now next to each other. Marsky hasn't had the best start. We'll pull up the... that's the wrong one. We'll pull up the position changes. Command Racer up 3. Fantastic start from the Alpine. Marsky down 1. Disappointing for him. He would have liked to have been 4th. Up 7 for Reflection. Up 4 for several drivers. Down 6 for Markey. Down 6 for Lucas Percy. Down 14 for Mad Max. And down 3 for Ginger Rage. The Kick Sauber team not at all where they'd want to be at the end of lap 1. Down the back straight for the first time in this race. All the drivers lining up. We've got some moves there. That mushroom up the inside of Jinner. It is. You can hear the under tray scraping away. Is he going up the inside of Marsky too? He's going to go for it. Potentially 3 wide. No, not quite. Can he get him on the exit? He can. Marsky will slot in behind the Red Bull, or he's going to get a nice face full of dirty air through that final corner as we head on to the second lap of the race. No one taking an early pit stop. I don't think anyone really got much damage, as that was an Aston Martin of Vessier running wide. I tell a lie. Who's dived into the pit lane? It is Mad Max. Mad Max is into the pit, so maybe he had wing damage from his lap 1 collision. Meanwhile, out front, the gap is 5/10 as things stand. There will be a nice little DRS train all the way down to Reflection in P12, but there are still a sector and a half before we get the DRS down the back straight for the first time in this race. But the Haas drivers have stayed in their position. I wonder if there'll be any team wars at any point if this fight gets too feisty. Hopefully they will race each other for the time being, but with the current closeness of the entire field, you don't really want to lose out, because if they collide, they will tumble out of the points right down to the back of the grid. As Mad Max has pitted onto a set of mediums, so he will join his fellow racers and go long on the medium tyres as long as he humanly can. As we head now down into Sector 2. A little bit deep there from Equaz, a little bit deep there from Legend as well. DRS will be there. Marsky has critically fallen out of DRS range of the cars ahead, so it'll be a DRS train from P1 to 6, and then a second one behind Marsky. Ekwaz has had a nice exit out of that long turn 12-13 complex, so he should be not under too much threat from his teammate, who I can imagine doesn't want to fight him too hard. Speaking of fighting, RTB closes a bit on the back of Camaro. No joy there. Jinner up the inside of Marsky. Marsky going backwards on these opening couple of laps of the race. Vessier having a little sniff of the Ferrari diffuser. Nothing doing there for him. But it's Jinner up to P7. He now has the enviable task of trying to reattach himself to the lead DRS train. As a flurry of fastest laps come in, Mushroom is fastest as a Aston of J. Hings goes wide out the final corner. Lucas Percy gets past Vintage into P14. So Percy looking to make ground after his terrible first lap, as Jinner and Marsky are fighting again. You obviously get a second bout of DRS down the start-finish straight, but it's Jinner who retains P7 ahead of the Ferrari of Marsky. So good job there. Marsky, I can see his fuel light already, so he's under fueled. He is preparing for rain and or a safety car, which is not necessarily the worst strategy in the world. As Mushroom, we've got a nice helicam shot here of Serious Mushroom, who is keeping very much up with the top 5 drivers. This was a good hunting ground for him last season in bronze. He did end up winning here in bronze in China. I think he did. He did very well at China in bronze. This is definitely a good stomping ground for the Mushroom. So we can see what he can do in that Red Bull. Obviously, the quickest car in that lead Gagler trains, or up there with the Mercedes. So he will have the downforce and the trailer speed that the cars around him won't have. As Legend has had a pretty poor lap there. He's outside us. Is he outside of DRS range of his teammates? You know, he might just. He is out of DRS range, and Vasta in the Mercedes might pounce here. The Haas is runnable. Legend goes inside to cover the inside line. It is going to be Vasta around the outside. He's going to brake later. Oh, he goes too deep though, broke too late, and he's gone wide. He's lucky not to lose the position to Camaro Racer there. But so Vista has lost out, and look at that. Legend has got back into DRS range. I wonder if Ekwaz backed off a bit there, just to give his teammate DRS again, just to make sure that no one gets past. Mushroom still in 6th. Jinner in 7th, pulled out a gap on Marsky. Coop trying to get past Bessier. Lucas Percy, fastest man of the track, 38.2. That just shows you how slow we are. 6 seconds off the qualifying times, and there's that was a little bit brave there, Coop. I think that was a little bit too brave from you there. I don't think that gap was ever really going to be there, but we'll wait and see what the stewards will make of that after the race. He's under attack now from Lucas Percy. He's going to go around the outside. Is Lucas Percy in the Sauber? Coop doesn't fight it. Down to 13th. He might have to cool those tyres a bit, because that was not the optimal way to go round turns 1 and 2. So that is all. Vessier has dropped outside Marsky's DRS range. As soon as you follow DRS range, it is very hard to get it back here in China. Due to the length of the straights, you lose so much time outside of DRS. Jinner he's keeping up with the cars ahead. If you factor in the fact that the cars ahead have DRS, he's more or less keeping up with Mushroom, but being outside that DRS range is going to hurt Jinner as he comes round onto the back straight. And Marsky has a lot of battery to play with. So does Jinner though. So we wait and see, as that is a move. Who's that? That is a Legend taking Ekwaz's position. Legend takes a lead here in China. That's a bit surprising. Last lap he was outside of DRS down that straight. This lap he is past his teammate. I wonder if he's swapped. I wonder if he's asked to go ahead, if the dirty air was affecting him too much, or, as is the case here in F1 25, potentially his engine was getting too hot. If you stick behind the car ahead for too long, your engine gets too hot. You start losing straight line speed, as he has let his teammate go back up the inside. So I think he just wanted a bit of clean air, just to cool the engine a bit, just to try and ward off the threat of Vatsa in the Mercedes, because obviously Vatsa had a run on him on the previous lap. So I think a little bit of team play there from the two Haas drivers, just trying to give each other a little bit of cooler air to get that nice, clean, fresh air over the front of these cars, hopefully trying to stop them from getting too much tyre wear and engine issues. But it is still Ekwaz who leads the Legend in P2, Vasta P3 and beat P4. So the two Alpines and the two Hasses in the top 5 on lap 5 of 56. We are barely a tenth of the way through this race. Already been action and a few overtakes. Marsky has got past Jinner. I did miss that. Marsky is back ahead of Jinner. So Marsky retakes ahead of the train, the Marsky train. He needs to bridge that gap to Mushroom if he can, but he will need to use a lot of battery and a lot of pace to to close up to Mushroom. Mushroom very quick at China, and with the benefit of having DRS, whereas Marsky does not have that. But we will wait and see. As Legend, again, he seems to struggle in Sector 2, Legend, potentially running less downforce than his teammate. If you gather the fact that he was quite far back a couple of laps ago, and he was able to overtake his teammate this time last lap. But no, nothing doing there for him. As R2 beat ahead of Camaro, and Jinna's got it back ahead of Marsky. Maybe these two are going to try and DRS swap with each other, but I don't think it's going to be too efficient. Mushroom can just be pulled along by the cars ahead. Mushroom doesn't have to risk anything quite yet. As he comes round onto the start-finish straight, we begin at lap 6. Oh, that Jinna making a mistake. I think it was. He went very suddenly left out of the left-hander. Perhaps he took too much curve and the car spat him back out. Not entirely sure, but Jinna back down to P8. This battle continuing for P7 in the early stages of this race. So, few position swaps, nothing too crazy yet. We have a bit of a DRS train going on here. As Vesta has left. Vesta has left the session. I can't invite him back. I don't have him as a friend on EA. That is heartbreak for Vesta. He was doing so well in P3. I don't know. Can anyone invite him back? I can't invite him. I cannot invite him back. Hopefully he can get back in through the invite on the home screen in the party. Let's see if I can get him back in. I can try my best. That is going to really, really, really hurt his. He's offline as well. I think that might be his race, not curtailed, hopefully. But I'll send him a friend request. That is him. Unfortunately, currently out, and Legend just about. He's not in keeping in the DRS, and R2 beat now, who's inherited P3. He's dropped Mushroom, who's got past Camaro. He's now going to put the hash driver under some pressure. The DRS train starting to fall apart a bit here in China, but no, Mushroom's going to keep up as. Oh my gosh, what the hell is going on here? We've got Vasta is a ghost car, slightly curtailing the running of those further down the order. I have invited him to become my friend. If he accepts, he can get me back, but I'm not sure what happens. R2 Beat has got past Legend, has he though, into turn 2. The Alpine on the outside. Can he get the move done up the inside into 2? Yes, he can, but the Haas on the outside. Legend runs a little bit wide. Give me a traction race, but the Alpine has got him. We have, for the first time in this race, a non-Haas 1-2. Vista, I've added you as I sent you a friend request on PlayStation. If you accept my friend request on PlayStation, I can re-invite you to the game. Can't do anything until you accept my PlayStation friend request. I just sent it to you, unless you've already done it. Has he? Sorry guys, and I'm missing out on the action. But I'm the only person who can invite him back, because pretty much everyone in here is. Yeah, not yet. I've sent you a friend request on PlayStation Party. I can't invite you to accept it because I can't invite people. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Whoopsie. Yeah, I need you to become my PlayStation friend. And then I can. As we head on to lap 7 of 56. Okay, good. R2 Beat coming now down the start finish straight. DRS is open. Can he get any closer to Equaz? Equaz has a nice gap, but Equaz is not going to like the fact that he can't see his teammate behind him. His teammate isn't even in DRS range of the Alpine. Mushroom's having a look, so I'm not sure what's happened to Legend there. He has starting to struggle a bit. Maybe his tyres have got a bit too. Oh no, that was all good. There we are. I've sent you an invite, Faster. There we go. Legend has dropped back a bit now. He was doing well. He did overtake his teammate, but he's down to third as Camaro. Oh no, sorry, it's Jinna, and Vestiaire is now having a bit of a ding-dong. Vestiaire coming up 3 now. Again, dirty air could be really affecting these cars. If they're understeering a lot, they could be experiencing a lot of tyre wear, which could be what's happened to Legend. Also, on the flip side, if they are expecting rain, have they slightly changed their tyre pressures to be ready for the wet period and not for the dry? Not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. We do have the 3 drivers at the back on the hards, but they are not making much of an impression. Hings is on the back of Vatsa, but Vatsa is not currently in his car, so that doesn't really count. So maybe the hards were not the right choice to go. Obviously, Mad Max started on the hards, but got a fistful of front wing coming out of turn 2. So unfortunately fell to the back of the pack. R2 Beat and Equaz have pulled away. It is R2 Beat and Equaz. The top 2 are pulling away now. Legend is slipping back in that Haas. Whatever he's done to that car in the setup is not working out for him. It worked out fine in the first few laps. Less so in the last few, as R2B onto the back straight now. Is he going to have a go at Equaz? He's within 6/10 as they get the DRS flaps open. Doesn't look like it. He looks like he's harvesting battery as Mushroom goes up the inside of Legend. He's well clear of Legend before they even get to the braking zone of turn 14. Incredible. Not sure what's happened to Legend here. He has very much fallen off. He was, well, he didn't put up a fight against Mushroom. He let him go well before the braking zone. So not sure what Legend's game plan here is. Long way to go in this race. Is he just trying to hold back to try and save tyres for potentially later in the race? Is he trying to hold back to save tyres to try and make sure he gets to the wet period on this set of mediums? Who knows? We will have to ask if he gets in the top 3 at the end of the race. As Kamara now comes round into the long right-hander, he'll be the next one on the back of the Haas's tail. So that will be wait and see as Vestiaire and Jenna continuing to fight through this opening complex. Got a long train behind them. Train goes down to Coop in 13th. So very much a big train here. As that's a bad exit for Jenna. Marsky now is he going to get back through? No, he's not. In fact, he's under threat from Lucas Percy. You know, around the outside. He's got the Williams in front of him. Can he get the move done? He's not going to. No, not quite. Not quite from Lucas Percy. He's clear of reflection in P10. Doesn't have to worry about reflection in the back of him. He's got the inside as Marsky's left him the room. He left him the gap and Lucas Percy said, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Lucas Percy up to P8. Fantastic job from him. Started P11, qualified P6, but he's up to P8 now. He'll need to clear Jenna and Vestiaire. He needs to clear this train, to be honest, because although the top 5 have checked out, he'll need to get that clear air over his car. He'll need to cool down the engine, cool down his tyres. And that will do him a world of wonder as we head back onto the back straight. R2 Beat 6/10 is the gap. What can he do? Can he get any closer? DRS is open for R2 Beat. The DRS open. He's going to get close. This could be a chance for the lead. For the first time this race, we'll have a non-Haas leading into turn 14 as he kept the braking perfect. He has. Hits the apex on the right. Is Quaz going to get him on the exit though? He is going to get him on the exit. It's going to be a drag race to the last corner. But R2 Beat will stick behind because R2 Beat will get DRS down this straight. Oh, a little bit of dirty air pushes him wide. Is R2 Beat going to make the move into 1? He has the DRS wide open. You can see the flap. You can see the straight line speed it's giving him up the inside into turn 1. Does he get the move done? He goes a little bit deep. He goes a bit wide as I think Equaz is almost following him off there because of the dirty air of these cars. He's going to go up the inside. He's holding the inside line. This is close. You've got to be careful not to take each other out and let Mushroom back into the DRS. Both going to be deploying down on the run to 6. It is going to be Beat. R2 Beat takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix and locks up for good measure. And they have nearly let Mushroom back into DRS range. Wow, that was a good fight from the top 2. Plenty of respect and space given, but potentially a lot of time lost because Mushroom is nearly now within DRS range of the top 2 as Lucas Percy gets past Jenna. I saw Vestiaire and Jenna were fighting, but Lucas Percy, again, same corner that he got past Marsky on the last lap, just goes straight up the inside and nearly at the head of this train. This will help him massively as the top 5 have again reconverged. We have a DRS train in the top 5. Oh yeah, nothing beats a good sip of Tango. As Reflection and Marsky are fighting, obviously the Mercedes will have a better run because he has the superior downforce being in that Mercedes. Any team order is going to come into play at V-Carb because they are now right behind each other. And Kiki has keep up his posterior, which you'll have to be careful about as Mushroom. He's keeping within DRS. Kamara Racer slightly detached from the top 5. He'll need to try and climb his way back into the top 5 if he wants to try and get this move done. As he now comes up to the finish line P5. He is out of DRS range. He needs to be careful. Lucas Percy, he needs to get up past these guys. He is back up to P6 for Lucas Percy, where he started, where he qualified in qualifying before that 5-place grid penalty demoted him. So, Lucas Percy has done a fantastic job there to go P6 in the Kick Sauber. He now is ahead of this train. He'll go try and get down the road, lead these guys for dust, and hopefully he will hope either for a safety car or he might try and undercut the cars ahead to try and get that position back. I do want to note it is getting a little bit dark up. Those clouds are starting to loom into fashion So it is a little bit darker than it was at the race start. So we'll have to wait and see if that is indeed the rain that was forecast coming into play. If it is, that is quite early, being lap 11. Will we see rain by the turn of lap 20? As Lucas Percy comes out the final corner. He hasn't quite dropped Vessier yet, but he isn't far off. I don't think Vessier will be much of a threat going to turn 14. Let's come on again, not keeping DRS. Equaz has lost DRS to RTB, or has he? He hasn't quite, but he was close there. So two Haas drivers. Perhaps this is the downside of the Haas, too harsh on their tyres, because they were 1 and 2 for most of the start of this race, and now they are down in 2nd and 4th. And it looked like for a second there, Equaz would lose the DRS to R2 they all don't have that much battery left. No one's pitting yet, too early, and the clouds are coming in, so that rain could be starting pretty soon as they come now down into turn 1. Long right-hander. There's a lot of stress on that front left. The front left will be the one that struggles the most here at the Shanghai International Circuit. It is a front-limited track. If your fronts go off, your rears might be fantastic. You might be getting lots of traction, but if your fronts go off, that will be it for you. So, strong pace there from R2 as we now cut to the helicam shot of the overhead. Lovely helicam shot is a head into the break of 6. It's a bit deep there from R2 potentially snatching a break there. Not ideal for him. Equaz is all over the back of him, but again, dirty air through this sector 2 will do no good for the Haas driver. The golden zone, as it should be called, is about 7/10. If you're about 7/10 off the car ahead, you will not get the dirty air to a level that will severely affect your ability to drive the cars through corners. But it looks like it's going to be a good gap there for R2 but I think Equaz should be able to keep in DRS this lap. Not quite so much of a scare as he had on the last lap. I think there's going to be a period now of potentially tyre saving. There's been jockeying for position, but you will need to save tyres as Equaz does have a bad run out the corner. I think that is where the Haas are struggling. It is around the long right-hander that is doing them in at the moment. As DRS opens for Equaz, he has kept it just about within that 1 second. That critical 1 second is where it all matters as they come now down into turn 14 for the heavy braking zone. Vessier has fallen out the DRS of Lucas Percy, and looks like Jinnah and him are going to reignite their fight from earlier in this race. Up the inside goes the Williams of Jinnah. Can he get the move done? Yes, just about. No, just about. Oh, it's going to be a traction race. A little bit of touch in there. Jinnah's going to be on the outside. Gets the move done, but Vessier will have DRS out down the start-finish straight. He's had a pretty good run. He hasn't had a good run as Marsky. Marsky's got a lot of battery to play with here in the fray, all over the back of the Aston. Is he going to make a lunge into turn 1? No. So he decides to stick behind him for the time being. As we head now around the long right-hander, as Knowsley is still in 15th, and the hard runners have not made any impression whatsoever as Marsky and Vessier side by side. Marsky got a lot of battery to play with. Oh, and that is Marky off the track. I don't know if he got a hit or if he got a bit too trigger happy with the throttle, but Marky is now down to the back of this DRS train. Vintage a little bit deep there in the McLaren. A little bit wide there, but I think Cooper as well is starting to struggle. These drivers starting to struggle. I think the chart at the start said for two-stop BB20s, we've got Lucas Percy. He's gone round in the kick Sauber. Not sure what's happened there. He was doing so well with Lucas Percy climbing back through the grid. He was up into P6 and he's now down to 14th. And I suspect he will have some very, very, very hot Pirelli tyres underneath him now, which will serve him no good as they come around. So I think the drivers starting to struggle on these medium tyres. They were supposed to get to around lap 20, I think, is what the chart said on the formation lap. I can double check. I think it was around lap 20. They were going to cut that. They were going to have to pit for the two-stopper. Let's have a look. Yes, lap 20. Oh no, lap 20 to 35. So we are well into these tyres. And that is rain. That is rain here. Rain has hit the Shanghai International Circuit. That is rain streaming down the track. The rain has hit as Markey is our first one to be hit with a 3-second penalty for track limits. It is raining. The yellow flag is sector 3. That is Jay Hings has gone round in the Aston. Jay Hings has already gone round. It's not wet enough for intermediates, but the rain has started. The track is going to get damp, and that is bad news for the hard runners. This rain has come too early for their strategy to really work out for them as they come now down through You don't want to be the lead driver in this situation because you're the first one who's going to hit these new wet patches on the track. You're the first one to work out where the grip is. The cars behind can work it out where it is based on what you do and where you go. So we'll wait and see what the drivers do here. It is still way too early to go for intermediates. It is only just started raining in the last 40 seconds, but already the grip will be at a premium. The grip will already be less than what it was the lap before. As it is raining heavily, and it's a little bit deep there from the Haas, a little bit deep there from Mushroom. Maybe the rain is the heaviest, except you've got another yellow, and that is reflection 3 seconds. That's Nosey in the other Sauber. The Sauber's not enjoying these track conditions. He's gone again, and is it time for intermediates? Is it now time to put on the green Pirelli tyres, because drivers are already sliding everywhere? We've had 3 spins in the last lap. As Jay Hings picks up a 3 seconds, so all the time penalties coming in, people finding that the little grip, they can't really do much. They can't really do much because there's no grip and they're going wide, which is giving them the warnings and ultimately the penalties. And obviously it's a very long race ahead of us. Anyone going to pit? No. Beat stays out, Equar stays out, Mushroom stays out. So the drivers at the front, they've got the most to lose. They do not want to pit anytime soon. Marsky and Jinna are once again fighting. Kamara's got 3 seconds now in P5. The rain is really starting to come down here at the Shanghai International Circuit, but the track is not wet. DRS is still enabled. What are the drivers going to do? If you're outside the points, what do you stand to lose? That is Kiki gone. The other V-Car is gone, and that is Vintage in the pits. Vintage in the pits for the McLaren team. He surely got to be set for intermediates for him. Into the pit box for him, Nuno's and the intermediate tyres. We have our first runner. Everyone will be checking Vintage now. What will he do? How quick can he go on these intermediate tyres? What is his pace like? Will he burn them up too early? We will find out shortly, as he's followed in by Hings in the other Aston. Drivers who have nothing to lose in the bottom end of the points. Now is the time to pit, because what do you stand to lose? Points? No, you haven't got anywhere you are. You might as well take the risk. As around the outside goes Mad Max. Woohoo! The track is wet. This is a wet track now. Jay Hings has gone on to mediums. Jay Hings is on to another set of the softs, or the slick tyres. That is not good. Nosey picked up a 3 seconds. I think it is now time for intermediate tyres. I think Vintage has played that to perfection. You can see already how much they're struggling. Hello, Farth. Good evening. Welcome to the race. Perfect time to tune in, Farth, because it has just started really raining here at the Shanghai International Circuit. Legend might get back his podium position. No, he's going to duck inside. It's got to be, surely. Surely Inters can't be too far off for these drivers. Equars, they are so trepid. How far off is RTB is in. RTB in, Equaz is in, Mushroom is in, Legend goes again. He doesn't want to double stack with his teammate. He's gone wide at the final corner. I think that was the wrong choice from Legend. I think this is the crossover point. They're 10 seconds a lap slower than their best times. They're all streaming into the pit lane. And that is deep for Jinna. He does a Lewis Hamilton. Thank God there isn't a gravel trap there anymore. Everyone is in, and this is the lap to pit. Vintage has gained 2 seconds on Mad Max on this lap alone. So that just goes to show you it is time for the Inter tyres, but Legend has stayed out. I think he should have double stacked. He would have lost a lot less time. He is going to tumble down this order because it is time for the intermediate drivers. Everyone is going to intermediates. Everyone is switching over to the wet weather tyres as the rain has started to fall here in Shanghai. And yeah, look at that. He's so careful on the throttle. He's lifting off massively, is Legend. And you can see the rears are just sliding. He's going to be caught hand over fist by the cars who've just come out on intermediates. I don't think he can really risk staying out, because if this rain is going to stick around, as Nosey's still out on hards. Okay, not quite sure why. Jesus, he's going to put it in a wall if he's not careful. As RTB is getting a second already on Legend on this outlap alone. It's not looking good for Legend. He's 9 seconds down on Sector 2 and what his best time would be. Even if you factor in tyre wear, that's still 0.8 seconds down on where he would be on slick tyres. I think this is pretty much it for Legend's hopes of even getting on the podium here. He's going to tumble down the order. RTB's gained about 1.5 seconds on this outlap alone. Legend into the braking zone of 14. Gets the car turned in perfectly. He's got understeer in the low speed corners. He's got no grip out there. He's got nothing left to give. He's got no traction. He's sliding. He's dropping like a stone. Legend is in. I would have pitted the same lap as my teammate. Yes, you would have been held up, but you're not going to lose this much time. You can't even get it slowed down into the pit lane. and that is Legend into the pits. And I'm sure Knowsley will follow him in this lap. But the time lost for Legend is going to be terrible. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out near Kamara Racer, to be honest. As Gina and Marsky are fighting. DRS is still enabled. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. No, it's not enabled. Gosh, damn, this game is confusing. Legend is pitted. He's going to come down the start-finish straight. You can see the top 4 have streaked away. He's going to go out ahead of Camaro, but he's going to be well down on the fight he was with. He's 7 seconds off Mushroom. He was within DRS and 4/10 behind Mushroom on the lap that everyone pitted for Inters. He has lost 7 seconds pitting a lap too late. A single lap has cost him 7 seconds of track time. So he has been properly done over by this weather change. Now, the question is, how heavy is the rain going to get? Are we going to stand intermediates? And how long is it going to last? Is this an end to the end of the race? Or is this going to be just for a couple of laps until we go back to dry conditions? Knowsley has stayed out. Not entirely sure why he's done that. Knowsley has decided to stick it out. Okay. He's on hard tyres, which is probably the worst tyre to be on wet conditions, because they lose their heat very quickly. So, yeah, he's still on hards. He has a nice helmet design, but that is not going to do him much good in these conditions. So it is R2 beat ahead of Equaz, ahead of Mushroom, your top 3. They are being very ginger around the long right-hander. Very careful indeed. They have to be, because they don't really know what the grip is. It's obviously only their first lap at racing speed, as Marsky and Kamara Racer are side by side round the long right-hander. That is not normally where you see overtaking manoeuvres. As they come down the back straight, DRS has been disabled, so it will be down to battery usage and the slipstream, and a little bit of what downforce and shutdown speed you have over the car, as Marsky's got broken really late. Marsky broke on time, Kamara broke really early. Compounded by the fact he's now got Gina up, is inside. Can Kamara hold it around the outside? No, he backs off. Kamara not enjoying these wet conditions. Gina goes Gina goes wide. Didn't quite know where I think Kamara was going to be, so he decided to go a little bit wider. Vessier's got past Kamara. So Kamara Racer gone from 5th to 8th in the span of a single lap, so he is struggling in these conditions. Not good at all for the Alpine. One Alpine stays in the lead, the other one dropping like a stone. But that lead Alpine of R2B does have Equaz all over him. The gap seems to fluctuate, goes quite high to quite low. So all these drivers, some of them may have picked wet weather setups for the race, potentially, given the conditions at the moment. But we'll wait and see. Knowsley has stuck it out for another lap, so I'm not entirely sure what his master plan here is, to be honest, from Knowsley. But we will leave him to it, as Coop and Reflection are fighting. Coop has got past Reflection into 11th position. Good showing for him in the Williams. He's got the V-Cub of Markey just up the road. Not too far ahead, as Legend is closing a bit on the back of Mushroom, so Legend is enjoying these conditions a lot more than some of the others out there. But the rain has been and is been falling for a while now, so this track is fully intermediate conditions. Knowsley has stuck it out for whatever reason that may be. No spray yet kicked up from these cars, so that's important. The track is wet, but it's not wet enough yet for there to be spray being picked up from the cars. So, yes, we will wait and see what the plan is going to be. Is it going to be wet? Is it going to stay inters? How long is this rain going to be? But either way, it has thrown a curveball here for the drivers. I know that it was forecast and predicted, but they are going to be intrepid to work out which tyre is going to be best and how long is it going to last, as they come down now onto lap 19 of 56. We are just over a quarter of the way through this Chinese Grand Prix, and if you're just joining us, the rain has hit. It was a dry start to this race. The rain has hit the Shanghai International Circuit. It is intermediate conditions. We have one driver, Knowsley, being very brave on a set of slicks, but it is not doing him much good. So everyone intermediates apart from Knowsley, but I'm not quite sure what his game plan is here. He's dropping like a stone compared to Mad Max, and Jay Hings, I'm sure, will be all over him in the next lap or two, as we come now down into turn 6 for the 19th time. The rain is heavy, but it's not super heavy yet. We'll wait and see if that changes later on in the race. I don't know the full forecast. I only know what it was going to rain. So how long it's going to last, when it's going to be, we will not know. But this is the second race in a row that we've had wet weather affecting the race. Obviously, last week in Melbourne we had wet conditions, but they did dry up as Knowlesley gets passed by Jay Hings. I don't think him sticking out on hard tyres is really the way to go, but we will wait and see. Maybe he knows something we don't. Ginner behind Marsky in this train. This train has been formed since the early laps of this race. These guys have all been jockeying for position time and time again. No real changes in the lead. Equaz is keeping RTB honest, but I think without DRS there's not much he can do at the moment unless he starts really saving ERS battery. No sign of the safety car or any sort of caution yet, although knowing me, I have probably just commentated to curse that. So yeah, that is going to be an interesting one. No wildcard in this race, no special doolally to get us all excited. It's just as RTB has been passed. RTB has been passed by Equaz. As soon as I said there's been no change in the lead, Equaz takes back his lead he's held for most of this race. RTB falls down into second. So that is back into the lead for Equaz. That is strong from the Haas. His teammate is also starting to catch serious mushroom. So that is really good for him. As we will now double check. I'm going to check who won last week in the event league. It was Equaz in the Haas who won. So he's taking back, looking to make it 2 from 2. RTB finished third last weekend, or last Wednesday, but he is currently P2 and he's already nearly a second off the back of the Haas. So Equaz has got these intermediates into a nice condition. He's got the car into a nice rhythm, and he will see now how much he can push away from the Alpine. His teammate, as I said, is closing in on Mushroom. Gap has come down a fair amount the last few laps, as a little bit slightly there from the Haas driver. So strong is showing from Legend. He did start P2, but he waited too long, waited that extra lap to go on to the intermediates. But we will see now if and when he catches Mushroom, because he is catching Mushroom at quite a rate. It will probably be maybe 4 or 5 more laps before he's on the back of the Red Bull. Yeah, you can see the top 4 all into shot now. There's Equaz into the braking zone. As he goes into the braking zone, as Lucas Percy gets past Vestiaire. Good move from Lucas Percy. He was looking to recover after that spin that sent him right down the order. It looked like a very unfounded spin. Don't know how good this kick Sauber is. You can see Vestiaire trying to go around the outside. Cannot get it done in the Aston Martin. It is Lucas Percy. He takes P7 in the kick Sauber, looking to climb back up the order after a disappointing spin early on that really pegged him back. He was doing very well. He was driving very quickly as Ginner has pitted. It has stopped raining already. Surely it's too early for slicks. Sure, maybe not. Everyone's coming in, crikey. Everyone is into the pit lane for a set of, I would assume, slicks, because it has already stopped raining. The rain interruption has lasted all of 10 minutes, and it is hard tyres for Ginner. Markey into the pits. What will he go on to? Hard tyres for Markey, mediums for Camaro. So people going on to the hards to try and potentially do a long stint here and do a short medium stint at the end of the race. Obviously 2 sets of mediums, 1 set of hard. If you use the balance, and that is potentially your first sign that this is too early for the slicks, because that was a nice slide from Markey coming out the pit lane. Let's see what Ginner does on the back of Vatsa. How much does he gain? Oh, he's lost about 3 tenths of the track, 4 tenths of the traction zone. Maybe a bit too early, but it could be just that these are cold tyres. How will the leaders respond? The rain has stopped. This rain interruption has lasted literally all of 5 or 6 laps. We're going back, it looks like, to the slick tyres. It was a brief, cloudy, rainy interlude. That was the only thing that was able to get these drivers onto the inters. We didn't even start seeing any spray at all. Gino, though, has lost a second to Vatsa on this lap, but again, is that because his tyres are cold? Potentially, or maybe the track isn't ready yet. I did think it was a bit early to jump onto the slick tyres. Not early enough for Equaz, though. Equaz is sticking it out for another lap. What about Mushroom? Mushroom sticking is going to come in. Is Legend going to pit this lap? Legendy does. He thought about going again. He really thought about going again, but he has pitted Marsky in. So everyone's in, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, Ginner is starting to claw back the time he's lost to Vatsa, but he lost a lot of time to Vatsa in that first sector. I now see why Knowlesley stuck it out, because the rain wasn't going to last that long, but he is now very far off the back of the cars ahead. And it is hard tyres for pretty much everyone, 3 seconds for Kiki. Hard tyres across the board, which is more or less, it lines up with the strategy. Even if it's been dry, you need pitting now within this time frame for new tyres. So it's hard tyres for pretty much everyone. Kiki is going on to a new set of hards. Vatsa is going on to softs. Okay, Vatsa is going on to the softs. They will be very easy to warm up, those soft tyres. They will be very rapid. Will not last, obviously, very long at all. But he will be very quick on those soft tyres. Jinner stays P8, and he's right behind Vestiaire. Jinner's going to have warmer tyres than Vestiaire. Vestier's got to try and warm these hard tyres up as quickly as possible. You can see there, the car is not wanting to rotate in any way, shape or form. You've got hard tyres on a damp track, and as well they are going to come out of the blankets very cold. By the time you come down the pit lane and get to the end of the pit lane and hit the throttle, you're going to have very extremely cold tyres. So we will wait and see if Jenna can make any inroads on Vestiaire, continue their fight. Lucas Percy on the back of Marsky. So Lucas Percy has made a great advantage of this. He's all over the back of the Ferrari. I think the one person this hurts the most is Legend. Legend was closing onto the back of Mushroom in the wet conditions, but those wet conditions have already passed. So that is most unfortunate for him. As they come now down the back straight. Oh, got something in my eye. I got something in my eye. Ah. Right, as we now head on to lap 23 or 56. If this was a normal race here in ALR China, we would be 3 laps from the end. Instead, we're only not even halfway through yet. So it is Airquaz who leads, R2 Beat second, Mushroom third, Legend is fourth. Lucas Percy is got past Marsky into fifth. Jinner is all over the back of Vestiaire Coupe in the other Williams, not too far from these two, so these two got to be careful. As Vasta now, he'll be one to watch. He needs to just catch up to the cars ahead. So I'm not quite sure what the game plan is here. He'll have to pit again, obviously, onto a new set of tyres. Maybe he's hoping to create an offset and go for hards, maybe lap 35 to the end. Maybe, I'm not sure the length of tyres, how long tyres last in 100% race conditions. The mediums, according to the game, could do anywhere between 20 to 35 laps. So the one stop is feasible. The hard tyres are a feasible race tyre, potentially, to get these guys to the end. If the pit window for the mediums was anywhere from lap 20 to 35, you could definitely get hards to the end with about 30 laps on them. But it might be a little bit of a stretch, probably not assisted if people start fighting each other for track position. So let's have a look, see what the game plan is here. People, will they go long, create an offset and pit again? Pit last time here in China, I will pull it up because I do have a way to check. Pit loss time here in China is approximately 17 seconds. That's approximately 17 seconds. So about 20 odd seconds. Let's say 20 seconds by the time you get the tyres warmed up and everything. So very, very interesting. In the 50% race, this is a one-stop strategy. So can these hard tyres go to the end? That is the question. Can they make it to the end of the race? Who is going to who's going to push for it to the end of the race? Who is not? Kamaro will not be able to make it to the end of the race on medium tyres. Theoretically, they could do 35 laps. Emphasis on the word theoretically. He's got to do at least 35 laps on them, so he will be very much he'll be under threat from the cars behind. He'll be on better tyres by the end of the race. Their tyre will be a far superior one. As a little bit deep there from Marsky. R2 Beat back in the DRS of Equaz. So R2 Beat, who lost the lead in the wet conditions, is now back on the rear of the Haas in front of him. He likes these dry conditions a lot more than the wet ones. So I think we will have a fight. Oh, that's a slide and a half. That is a slide and a half. That will not do the rear tyres any kind of good. As for R2 Beat, I think we will have a 2-horse race for this race win. Mushroom is there or thereabouts. You can see the Red Bull in the background. Onto the back straight comes the second Haas of Legend. Lucas Percy not too far behind, and there is Marsky as well. So top 6 can be seen from the straight as Vestiaire Has got Coop now all over his posterior. I think this is going to be a pretty easy overtake for the Williams driver. Can he do what his teammate has failed to do and put a pass on Vessier that has stuck into the final corner? Has he got a braking zone done? He has, and he does get the move done on the Aston Martin. As Otti beats at the first lap of the race, he is all over the back of Equaz. What can he do? He lost last night in Melbourne. Can he take back the win? Can he give us level pegging in this championship? After 2 rounds and set up potentially a 2-horse race. Kamara sets the first lap of the race. These first laps are going to come flying in. These drivers are on less fuel than they were at the start of the race. This track is going to rub it in very quickly. We still have all 19 runners left in this race. Even Knowlesley, who did not pit for wets during the wet period, has stuck it out there. So, good job from everyone. It's not really a place you would expect to get a safety car unless you have a high-speed crash. As we come into the halfway stage in this race, everyone on hards, apart from a dozen people. Camaro, Ginger, Vasta, and Hings are all those that have not gone hards. Knowlesley will have to pit at some point onto a set of the medium tyres, or medium or soft tyres, whichever he chooses. So we'll wait and see if these hard tyres will get to the end. That is now the main question of this race. And R2B has taken the lead. What a move from R2B there in the Alpine, right up the inside of Equaz. As Equaz is going to try and get him back on the exit, he's going to have to... Oh, that's a little bit tentative from R2B there. What can Equaz do up into the first corner? I think it'll be far. Yeah, he can be far too far back there. So Equaz, he can let this one go. Still a long way to go in this race. He's got a nice comfortable gap to Mushroom, who's pulling away from legend. Lucas Percy is on a absolute howler. He is really flying here. He is pushing as hard as he possibly can in that kick Sauber. He is making up for the wrongs that he happened in qualifying. As Camaro sits first lap of the race on those medium tyres, he's got a nice clean track ahead of him, does Camaro. So that is not a surprise there. As yellow flag is set to 3, that was I think Mad Max going for a spin. He's now got Jay Hings on his tail as Vintage and Kiki are fighting for 13th position. Vintage stays behind the V-Carb for now. He's got Ginger Rage as well, keeping an eye on them, and Vasta as well in the Mercedes, who is the only driver who has used the soft tyres during this race thus far. As RTB is starting to pull away from Equaz, but not quite enough yet. Equaz down 9/10. He will have DRS for this straight, so that is good for him. But the Hasses, I think, they're struggling now at this point in the race. Equaz looked quick in the rain, so did Legend, but it's now back to dry conditions, and I think that is their weakness. As you can see there, Lucas Percy, I think, is about to take 4th position in this race. I don't think there's much Legend can do. I think Legend would like to do something about it, but I think there isn't much he can do. They come down into 14, round the outside goes Lucas Percy, as Lucas Percy takes P4, and Coop and Marsky have swapped positions. And Jinna and Vessi are still fighting. R2B sets the fastest lap of the race. These times are tumbling, as is the fuel in these cars. Everything is slowing right down. I think that is pretty much it for everyone. Yes, I wonder if we'll see any more fastest laps from those slightly further down the grid. Kamara Racer has been very quick thus far on those medium tyres, as you would expect, but I think he's going to start struggling pretty soon compared to those around him. The field is starting to really string out a bit. Lucas Percy now has Mushroom is the next one he has to go for. Legend is struggling in the dry conditions, potentially one of those that went for the wet setup and was, I think, disappointed the rain only lasted for a handful of laps. They really did not last that long at all. As they come now up into Sector 2. Coop is now the head of the tray with Marsky, Vessier, Gina all in close following attendance. So we'll wait and see what the drivers can do now. It is now going to be potentially a game of tyre saving. If you're going to really pit again, which again is not entirely out of the question, mediums will probably do any point from maybe this lap onwards. But if you're going to give them 20 seconds pit lane loss time, you'd really want to pit maybe for mediums, maybe around lap 40. Give yourself enough time to go and catch the cars ahead, make up the 20 seconds you will lose. Because I can assure you, having medium tyres with a nearly 20 lap nearly 20 lap better, 20 lap difference will be brilliant. As Lucas Percy is repassed by Legend, so Lucas Percy gonna have a fight in his hands for P4 here. I'm sure Serious Mushroom won't complain too much about that one because he will watch these guys fall further back as Equaz still on the back of RTB, not making a move here into turn 1. Again, this might be just a game of sitting the DRS, pulling away from Mushroom, but looking after these front tyres. Do a bit of DRS hopping, just pull each other along as Ginger Rage and Vintage are now fighting. Oh, nice little dive bomb from Rage. I think, yeah, Vintage had to really get out of it there. As Vassas will now be on the back of this group as a yellow flag. Hello, what's happened here? Is that... Oh, it's Marky is gone. Marky has gone round in the V-car. I cannot change camera angles to see if he has any wing damage. He does. He's missing the front left end plate. Marky, I think, a little bit of a victim there of the exit of turn 16. Very unfortunate for him. He's gone wide. He's going to have to change that front wing sooner. I think that's going to compromise his strategy. Be a bit early to pit for mediums. He probably won't have another set of hards available to him. So I think that's Marky's race very much heavily compromised there by a simple spin out the last corner. No need for a virtual safety car or a full course caution. He has very much got underway, and it was only minor wing damage. I think if he lost his whole front wing, we might have seen a caution in place, but nothing of the sorts yet. As Equaz will have DRS on RT-Beat as we head into the halfway point of this race. And at this point, you'd expect the race to be over, but we still have 28 laps to go. And I think from this point onwards is when you will start to feel the burn, the fatigue. If you're on a wheel, are your arms starting to ache? If you're on a controller, are your fingers starting to hurt? This is where we will start to potentially see the first signs of weariness from this point onwards, because we are now on lap 29 of 56. We are over the halfway point, and we are officially longer than any normal race that most of these people will do. Now, I'm sure some of them may have tried to do 100% races to practice for this week's race. But they have to be very careful. You look after themselves, look after their tyres, look after their cars. Because we are very much at the point of the race where we're very much now in the point of the race where we will now need to see who is going to go for that second stop. Who is going to go for another set of tyres? Who is going to try, emphasis on the word try, and keep these tyres alive. It is going to be absolutely fascinating to see who's going to do what. Next race is in Japan. Whew. That is going to be that's going to be a fun one. So, yep, lap 29 of 56. The top two are still within the DRS range of each other. As we head now back onto the back straight, in fact, you can see that is Knowsley just at the end of the screen there. So Knowsley is at risk of being lapped. He is on hard tyres that he didn't quite start the race on. Well, he did start the race on those hards. So Knowsley, yeah, he's gone a long way on those hard tyres, which will be encouraging to these cars around the cars further down the grid, as he has now pitted off them, done 27 laps on them. So given the fact that these tyres are fresher, the track is more rubbered in, the fuel is a lot lower, there is a case to be made that you could take hard tyres to the end of the race. I think you will struggle, and I think that if you pit around lap 40 onto a new set of mediums, I think you will very much catch and overtake the cars ahead. Because if you think about this track, it's a very technical track, lots of long corners. So if you have fresher, softer tyres, you will find very quickly that you'll probably catch the cars ahead at a rate of knots. But we're still probably at least 10 laps away from any sort of pit stops. Because if you want to make sure your medium tyres go to the end and they get to the end well, you want to wait until lap 40 if you want to give yourself enough time to pit onto the medium tyres. If you choose to do so, again, we are probably looking at some people here who are going to try and go to the end on these hard tyres. Camaro, Ginger, Vatsa, maybe Markey, and definitely Hings. Hings, Vatsa, Raid and Kamara will be the three drivers that I will expect to pit. Markey and Knowsley might be able to make it to the end on their current tyres. Markey back in the pits, I think that might be it for him. He might be done for the day. He's only just pitted, so not quite sure if this is going to be a pit and quit, or if he is just, if he keeps going, good on him. But, yeah. I don't think they changed his front wing at the pit stop. Oh, that is... Oh, he's gone back onto his old mediums from the start of this race. That is painful for Markey. He will come out not quite a lap down, although if he doesn't come out a lap down, he'll be very close to it. I think he will come out a lap down. He does indeed. Markey goes down a lap. Unfortunately for him, he joins Knowsley in the lap down club. And he's back on 15 lap old mediums, which won't be giving him that much grip. And he will have to pit again for a new set of tyres. They did not change his front wing after his spin, which I think, because he left it on auto, that will really annoy him that he wasn't able to do it. So massively unfortunate for him, and that is his race pretty much over. He will need an intervention of a safety car now, and he's about to be lapped by Percy, so he's probably getting a lot of blue flags now. If he doesn't let Mushroom go, he will be receiving a 5-second penalty. He does let the Red Bull through, so good for him. Have a bit of a train here. Ginger Rage leads it. I don't think he's the instigator of this train. He has got past Kiki. So Ginger Rage up to P12 in the Red Bull, while his teammate is in P3, but Ginger Rage up to P12 on those medium tyres, which are probably still slightly better than Kiki's, but they won't be for much longer. Those mediums will start to really struggle towards the end of the race. Equaz, has he got, the yellow flag, that is for Vasta. Vasta has gone at turn 6. Has Equaz is out of DRS range. He's fallen out of DRS range for after beat. Can he get back into DRS range through turn 14? No, he hasn't had the best of exit. He's kept up with Equaz, has kept up with Beat, but this is not going to be it. He's not going to have DRS through this corner either. That could have massive implications for the fight for this race, because he does not have DRS anymore. Lucas Percy, fantastic job up to P4. Sets a personal, not far off his personal best. And that's really what you got to look for. How big is the drop-off on these hards? Marsky's time is 0.3 off his PB. So at the moment, they're not really seeing that much drop-off on these hard tyres. And of course, how that personal best lap was set, they might have had DRS, they might have had different conditions. There's that little cheeky move from Vessier up the inside of Coop. These Williamses are, there's Ginger decides to throw his nose into the ring. Oh dear, that was, I think, a little brave potentially from Ginger. I mean, he was up the inside, but I don't think that was good. I don't know about that one. I feel like it might be a racing incident. But I think Vessi is going to be mightily annoyed. He was fighting for the bottom half of the top 10, and now he's not even inside the top 10. And he probably have a little bit of extra tyre wear on those hard tyres for that little spin through the exit of 3. So a little bit more contact, but nothing too bad. I don't think Gin will have any kind of front wing damage, because it was, I think, tyre to front right to rear left tyre contact. But he has lost DRS to his teammates, so that could come back to bite him. Jinner, who I think is more or less where he started, as Vintage, and Kiki changed positions. Kiki down to the 14th, Vintage up to 13th. Can he get into DRS range of the Rage? Oh, I don't know if he was. He was right on the bubble there. I don't think he did. I think he was exactly 1 second away. So we'll see if the game gave him DRS. No, it did not. So, unlucky for him, as we go back to Coop and Marsky. These guys have been fighting. Marsky and Vessier have been seeing doubles all evening. They've been seeing two Williamses always alongside them and fighting them. As into that corner they go. Nice job from Coop. He's done very well in that Williams, and Gino has done well, even if he has now just taking out Vessier for good measure. As we now come down onto lap 33, Equaz is 1.8 behind. So Equaz is out of DRS range. He's not catching the Alpine. Does he pit for a set of the medium tyres? He's got still, as I said, several laps away from probably doing it. If he pitted now, he would come out probably around the Marsky Coop battle. So he will want to try and avoid that. He'll try and go longer. And if he can come out in the gap between Legend and Marsky, he could probably make good on some fresh tyres. This could be a Barcelona 2021, Paul Ricard 2021, or a Hungary 2019 situation where a late pit stop for new boots might end up paying you dividends. But even after 11 laps, the drop-off compared to the drop-off on the hard tyres has not been that bad. We'll see what Artie Beats lap is this time round. He is he's 1.1 off his PB. 1 second for Equaz. What's Mushrooms? He is 3/10 off his PB. So drop off is varied, but I don't think it's going to quite be too bad. But we'll wait and see, because as I said, they thought to do another 30. They could be doing about 34 laps on these hard tyres. Again, doable, but they will not be feeling too good at the end of the race, as Vintage and Ginger Rage swap positions. Ginger Rage up the inside of the McLaren. The McLaren will have the better exit. I think the McLaren is the stronger car in the game at the moment. Going to have a compromise. Oh, that is a corner cut and a half, and he's lost the rear end because he has no battery or... he has no battery, and funny enough, if you can believe it, grass on your tyres isn't normally the grippiest way to go about things. I know, shock horror. As we now head round the long right-hander of turn 1 and 2. 34 of 56. We've had a bit of rain, we've had a bit of sun. The track is lovely and sunny now, so I don't think we'll be seeing any more rain anytime soon. So, yes, we will wait and see. So, let's have a look. So, next week in Japan, the hard tyre is banned, I think that is. Yes, it is. Oh, Jesus. Hard tyre banned in Japan, that's going to make things fun. Obviously, next week. Before that, though, we will have a round at Saudi Arabia for gold, silver, and bronze. Obviously, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 7:30 British summer time. Obviously, we are well into it now. As that is a corner cut from Kiki. These guys are just all cutting corners to try and get ahead of each other. I think Ginger Rage starting to struggle on those mediums. Marsky's been overtaken by Coop. There's a sentence I've said about 6 times in this race, and I'll probably say it another 6 times before this race concludes. Vintage has got past Kiki. They are side by side. Kiki's burning battery. Kiki's going to go for Ginger Rage here. It is two the Red Bull owned teams, all on top of each other as per usual. Oh, that was a slide for Kiki. These guys really fighting hard, giving it everything they've got. Main battle on track is the Coupe DRS train with Marsky, Jenna, Reflection all in attendance. So that's going to be fun, as Knowlesley and Marsky are fighting. They're fighting, but they're both ghosts because they're both a lap down. So not much of a fight. They're behind the Haas of Legend in P5. So good showing from Marky. Not really, not Marky. Good showing from these two. They might try and unlap themselves. I don't think Marky will. He's on very old medium tyres. But I think Knowlesley will try and unlap himself. He's on the freshest tyres of anyone. I think that's a cheeky use of AI there, just from the way the car jolted back to the racing line. Knowlesley is going to try and unlap himself, and he will have DRS down the back straight here, so he will try and do it. The game can let you unlap yourself, but you generally have to pull away from the car you've just unlapped yourself from. I did it in Australia. You can unlap yourself, but you'll have to push hard on the battery if he is to do so, because of course, as I said, you do get a 5-second penalty if the game deems you to have not gotten out of the way in a quick enough fashion. But obviously you might wait until sector 1 here, just so that he can use his fresher tyres to his advantage. Not quite sure what his game plan is here, to be honest, but he is trying, so good for him. Coming on to now lap what is 36 of 56. R2 Beat is heading through the first sector. He's pulled the gap to Equaz is nearly 3 seconds. He has very much pulled clear, to the point now that if Equaz does pit again in this race, R2 Beat will have plenty of time to respond. As Marky has retired, that is a pit and quit for Marky. He's our first retirement. I'm not surprised. A very unfortunate race from the V-car driver there. He's our first DNF. We are down to 18. Unfortunate for him, but I can understand why he would have quitted. And I think that was... Jay Hings has also, I think, had a moment there. There was a brief yellow flag. As into the pits comes Vatsa. Off those soft tyres, he's done 13 laps on them. He will now probably go to a set of mediums to end this race. Unless he wants to go for a new set of hards, which, you know, not a bad shout. It is mediums for the Mercedes driver. They will see him very well to the end. He will come just behind Mad Max in 15th and 16th positions. He will sit after the Ferrari at a rate of knots, no doubt, as they come now into 36 or 56. And yeah, the gap is playing out. Lucas Percy is closing onto the back of Mushroom. Lucas Percy in the kick Sauber. He has the Mushroom in his sights. Mushroom is held on the podium positions since the early stint in this race. He's going to have a kick Sauber barreling down on him very soon. So we can see what Percy will do is a bit of a nice traction out of that turn 14 there from Lucas Percy. Gap is coming down. Mushroom did a 38.8 and Percy does a 38.1, so 7/10 gained by Percy on this lap. So potentially, maybe Mushroom trying to save a bit of tyre, a bit of ERS, but if he is, he does have to be wary of the kick salvo of Percy hunting him down for P3. Apart from that, not much is happening. Cooper Marsky, once again attached at the hip, and Marsky, Marsky going to the outside of Coop there as Ginger Age picks up 3 seconds for exceeding track limits. Marsky went for it. He did go around the outside. Wow, there was not much room there at all. So well done to Marsky. He has not yet got Coop. Coop is burning. Coop up the inside. Yep, keeps P6 as Coop in the Williams. That was very tight. Coop gave enough room, but it was not much. Probably wouldn't get much more than a sheet of A4 paper there. But fair play to them. They've kept it clean so far. And they will push on into lap 37. So if you're going to pit for a new set of tyres, this is where the pit window will start to open for you. If you want to take that gamble, you will have far superior tyres to the cars around you, but will you have the time to catch them? Let's have a look. The gap to the leader. So if Ekwaz was to pit, he's lost even more time on this lap. He's lost even a huge chunk to R2 beat. If he was to pit now, he would pop out just ahead of Coop. He would come out an hour help of Cooper Muskie. He would be between his teammate and the Williams, which would be critical to any attempt at another pit stop here. That is exactly where he would need to be. If he does pit, he's 1.3 off his PB, so that is quite a gap as Muskie and Cooper again fighting. These guys have all been attached at the hip. Vessier was part of this group until he unfortunately got spun. As they all go around into the final corner. I think they're going to stay as they are. I think Coop had a good enough run as Vintage and Ginger Age still fighting. Ginger Age, I think now will start to feel the tyre wear effect on his Red Bull. 16 laps on those mediums. The hards will now be the far superior tyre. I think he will be soon for the pit lane. Yes, he's straight in this lap, so his tyres were calling it quits on him. I wonder what he'll go on to. You'd probably expect another set of the medium tyres. He's done 16 laps on that set. There's 18 laps to go. Given the fuel changes and everything, I'm sure he could get to the end on another set of mediums. And it is the medium tyre that he will go back onto to end this race. And he will come out not too far behind Mad Max, perhaps potentially even side by side with Mad Max. There goes Mad Max. Where is the Red Bull? He just exiting the pit lane, so he's between the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Into 15th for Ginger Age. He's done his last stop for the race. What can he do with those new tyres? Can he get back up to Vintage? Can he get back ahead of Kiki, who he was fighting with? He does have a penalty. I will put up the penalties now for everyone. 3 seconds for everyone apart from Jay Hings and Camaro, who are on 6 off track limits. Everyone else is in the clear. 2 stops for everyone. 3 for Max, Rage, Vatsa and Hings. 1 from Knowlesy, who might be trying a one-stop strategy, but he will... he's not really a factor in this race anymore. He decided to be brave and bold with his tyre choice and decided to go for dry tyres on a wet track, which is the most Ferrari strategy I've ever seen. Lucas Percy has closed even more onto the back of Serious Mushroom. Mushroom has basically kept the gap to Ekwaz at 3 seconds. Ekwaz has dropped off the back of R2 Beat, but it is Percy out of these top 4 who has made the most gains as he comes now down into the braking zone of turn 6. Is anyone going to make that leap onto a new set of tyres, onto the new set of mediums? Is anyone going to try it? We will find out pretty soon, heading into the final quarter of this race. Percy, you can see the Red Bull nays, and to be fair, Mushroom's had a pretty good sector 2. He's gained about 4/10 on Ekwaz, so if anyone's going to pit for new tyres, I think it will be Ekwaz. He is, I would say, the one struggling the most at the stage of this race on this stint of tyres. Let's see if that is true. Is Ekwaz going to be the one to blink? And if he does, will anyone blink with him? I think if Ekwaz was to pit, he's hoping to come out ahead of Marsky. That is the main priority for him to come out ahead of Marsky. If he gets stuck in this DRS train, it will be game over for him. He will not be able to get through on these guys that quickly, and he'll going to lose a lot of time. His reflection went very deep. They come around the final corner. R2B carries on for what will be the start of lap 40. Is Ekwaz going to pit? No, Ekwaz sticking it out as well. Mushroom's had a much better lap. What is Equaz's lap? It was a 39.1. Mushroom does a 38.3. So Mushroom is very much keeping these tyres alive. Perhaps this next stop will not be necessary, as Coop and Marsky are fighting again. Maybe any of these guys are going to pit for a new set of tyres. Reflection could be phased out of the DRS range of the cars ahead, but he's sticking it out for one more lap. As Marsky goes up the inside of Coop again, up into turn 1, he's got the inside line, does the Ferrari, does he have the balls? Not quite, going to hug the inside tighter line. No, he's got to stay by it. As a yellow flag for Mad Max. Mad Max has spun his Ferrari around, and he's going to be sitting duck here for the Merc of Vatsa, who does not have DRS, but he won't need it. Blast past the Ferrari into the turn 14 with he's got the Lewis Hamilton Roscoe helmet, which I quite like, to be fair. That's quite a fun helmet. As we now move on to later on in this race. Lap 40.56 will give you the rundown. R2 Beat leads. Equaz second, Serious Mushroom third, as we have a flurry of fastest laps. That goes to show you how quick those new mediums are. They are 2 seconds a lap quicker than the current leaders. So you would make the time back if you pitted for mediums, but you would have to do it soon unless you want to go longer and choose softs. But I think you'd have to go quite late, and you wouldn't have enough time to make it up. If you're going to pit for mediums, you need to do it in the next couple of laps. So you need to bite the bullet. R2 Beat is sticking it out. I don't think anyone's going to risk it here in the top 4, because they have nothing to lose in the top 4. You have a lot to lose in the top 4 if you pit now. If you pit now, you're coming out well down the order. As Marsky and Coop are still fighting. These guys are just absolutely giving it everything to make a race. The Reflection has caught up to the back of this DRS train. So good job for these guys. As we come on to lap 41 of 56, 15 laps to go in what has been a very exciting Chinese Grand Prix. Tyre strategy I think, would have played a big part, but we had the rain, which was equalised everyone onto the same strategy. As Jenna thought about looking up inside of his teammate, you could tell he was thinking about it, but he hesitated too long. The opportunity didn't quite present for him, so he stayed behind his teammate again. We have this nice DRS train, 6th down to 9th, all in a DRS train. As Lucas Percy, I think, is not going to be that far from getting DRS on Serious Mushroom. Mushroom is closing on Equaz. That Haas is chewing through his tyres. So we'll wait and see. You can see the gap there. It's got quite a big gap now back to Legend, who's 13 seconds off. This was a guy who started second. Legend, no pace in the dry. He was quick in the wet, but stayed out a lap too long to go on to intermediate, so he lost a lot of time. He then pitted on back onto the dries at the same time as everyone else, but he just has not had the pace in this stint on the hard tyres. And I think the same could be said for his teammate. Equaz does not have the pace at the end of these stints, these hard tyres. His Haas is chewing them, eating through them. Does he pit though? Does he pit or does he stay out? He is staying out. These guys are all staying out. They have a lot to lose here. You know, if you come up behind Marsky and Coop and all these guys in this DRS train, you're going to spend too much time getting past them to make the strategy work. So you have to stick it out. Lucas Percy has DRS on Mushroom, but Mushroom is only 2 seconds off Equaz. If Mushroom can have a great lap here to get into the DRS range of Equaz, it could really be a very intense end. I don't think the fight for the podium is going to be over for any of these guys, as Nelsley has pitted again off his medium tyres. Only did 12 laps on them. So what will he go on to now? Probably another set of mediums, I would assume. Maybe the softs, but he's only done 12 laps of mediums. Don't think he'd want to try the softs, to be honest. It is mediums for the Kick Sauber car. As his teammate is all over the back of Mushroom, and Mushroom is not too far from Equaz. To be fair, it could be in Mushroom's best interest to let Percy go, let Percy get onto the back of Equaz, let Equaz and Percy fight, and then we get back into it, potentially just to let Percy go. As Percy gets into dirty air, has a massive snap in the second sector, loses a bit of time as he comes now down to the DRS end. He will have DRS for the first time on Mushroom down this long back straight. Mushroom struggling on these tyres. I think it is down to what setup you're running, if it's dry or wet, as to how your tyres are surviving. Pushing out onto the back straight. Coming now down, you can still see R2 Beat just leaving frame there. It's Jay Hings, who has now also gone a lap down here in the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Shanghai International Circuit, as I cannot speak. Those are your position changes. Mushroom up 9, Lucas Percy up 7, Reflection up 10. He did not set a lap. I think, to be honest, it's between Mushroom and Percy for me at the moment, because Percy did have that spin earlier on in the race. Is he going to go past Mushroom here? Is he going to get to the podium positions? No, he does back out. Mushroom was harvesting ERS. He could have gone for it. He still might go for it round the outside of turn 1. Is he going to go for it? No, not quite. As down the hill they go. It will be Mushroom who keeps onto the position. These guys need to not fight too much. Because if they fight too much, they will lose a lot of time to Equaz. I mean, the race win here for Lucas Percy, not exactly out of the question. He has shown good pace, but he needs to get his wiggle on. He needs to get past Mushroom ASAP. And the clouds are returning to the Shanghai International Circuit. The clouds are coming back. It was sunny, then it was cloudy, then it was wet. It's gone back to sunny. It's now back to cloudy. Could we see more rain hit the track in the dying laps? That would really throw a cat amongst the pigeons. That would really, really change everything for everyone. Yeah, it would absolutely change everything for everyone. Is the rain going to come back? Or are we just going to go cloudy conditions? If it goes cloudy, it might help the drivers with their tyre saving. If the track cools a little bit, it won't affect the tyres so much. I don't think anyone is really inside the top 4 going to go for that coveted second pit stop. I thought they might, as Mushroom wiggling a little bit down the straight, definitely trying to communicate to Percy to let him go. But he is going to let him go. Lucas Percy started P11, had a spin. He's up into the podium positions, and he can see P2. P2 less than 2 seconds up the road. So good for him, and a great drive from Mysterious Mushroom. Regardless, at the moment, Mushroom's going to have a great drive as someone's peeling into the pit lane. That is Hings in the Aston, pitting again. And he has pit and quit. He's out of the session. Jay Hings calls it a day on lap 43 for him. Out of 56, he was a lap down, as Vintage and Kiki are fighting. Kiki's had a spin, that's why. Kiki's lost it again. The V-carbs and having absolutely no rear-stability. They've both spun several times during the course of this race. Marky has pit and quit. Kiki now out of any fight for it. As Kamara Racer has pitted. Kamara Racer comes into the pits off those medium tyres that are done about 20 laps. So good for him to pit. He'll be flying in these dying stages, although he's got a lot of time to make up. I assume it'll be a set of softs to go to the end. He's pitted quite late. It is the soft tyres going on, and a fresh set of tyres at that. He probably had a spare set from qualifying if he only did the 2 runs. Kiki also in. So people are making that commitment to pit as there's a yellow flag. Vintage has gone. Vintage has gone for a spin. Not quite sure how that's happened. He wasn't really near anyone. He wasn't near anyone. I don't know how he spun it. All 4 tyres look inflated. It doesn't look like it was a tyre-induced spin. So not quite sure what that is. Camaro's come out on softs. Kiki out on softs as well. So people low down the grid after taking that second later pit stop. But look at this. Lucas Percy onto the back of Equaz, and he has brought Serious Mushroom along with him. I said that if Mushroom lets Percy go, Percy could pull him onto Equaz's tail, and that is exactly what has happened. Equaz isn't really losing now that much time to R2 beat, but he isn't really keeping up as Gina picks up 3 seconds for track limits. But Lucas Percy now into the top 3 for the top 3, and he is staring down the barrel of second place. If he gets past Equaz in the next couple of laps, could he potentially get into the top? Could he win? Go for the win, as Legends has pitted. Okay, so Legends has decided to call it a day on those hard tyres. Surprisingly, he was not the person I was expecting, but he will have quite a nice gap to feed into. He should come up between Vessier and Vintage, going on to a set of mediums to the end of the race. They'll be rapid. He'll have a 23 lap offset to the car around him, and he's on medium tyres, which will go to the end of the race with 0 issue. He will be flying. Legend, one to look out for in the closing stages. Not quite sure if he's going to have enough time to make up all the time he's lost in that pit stop, but we will wait and see. He will have to get Vessier back. This is another yellow for the other Mercedes. Reflection is gone. Is it raining again? No, I don't think it is. Yeah, it's reflection is gone. Is it raining again? It might be raining again, you know. It might be raining slightly. As Mushroom. Here we go. Lucas Percy on the inside into the heavy braking zone. Equaz is trying to fight it around the outside. Does he get it done? He does get it done though. But there is another DRS zone coming up. Lucas Percy has to defend for another straight, and if he can defend, he can go after. After he beat the race leader, And it is Percy pulling away down this straight as Ginner and Coop switch positions. The two Williams change positions. Maybe some team orders down at Williams. Maybe some team orders down at Williams to let him go to see if he can catch back up to Marsky in P5. He does have time penalties against his name, so it wouldn't matter too much if he did, as Legend has already got past Vestiaire on his outlap. So Legend putting those new medium tyres at too good use, and he's not that far from Reflection, who was the one that span. So he probably will catch Reflection by the end of this race. As Lucas Percy now, can he catch R2 Beat? That is the question. 10 laps to go. There is enough time in this race to do it. As Camaro and Vintage swap positions. Camaro on those fresh softs. Vintage pits. He doesn't want to finish the race on those hard tyres. Are people worried about potential punctures at the end of this race? Again, I am not entirely certain what the what the tyre life is of each tyre in 100%. Kiki gets 3 seconds for his track limit excursions. But Vintage going on to a fresh set of the soft tyres to see out the end of this race. Are people scared about getting a puncture? Lucas Percy has not made much of an inroad on R2B, and he's under potential threat here from Equaz. Is Equaz going to go for it into the braking zone? I think he's going to just hold back. He does indeed. He's got Mushroom, who had a look to the inside there. But R2B is streaking away. Lucas Percy, even though he's in clear air, has not really been able to get any closer. R2B does a 38.3, and Lucas Percy now comes around the final corner. Lucas Percy does a 38.9, loses 6/10 on this lap alone. So it looks more and more set for an R2 Beat victory, but we will not count our chickens before they come to roost yet, because anything could happen. Ginner really struggling on traction out of turn 14. People really starting to struggle on these hard tyres. The yellow flag, that is Mad Max on 25 lap old hard tyres. He has gone round. Again, all 4 tyres look inflated, so I think it's just simply a lack of grip doing people in. Unfortunate for Mad Max. R2 Beat, though, is absolutely flying out there. Lucas Percy has now started to pull away from Equaz. Legend sets fast lap of the race. Not a surprise there, given the fact he is on very fresh, very fresh medium tyres. He is on 2 lap old medium tyres. He will catch Reflection, I'm sure, potentially in the next lap, if not 2. He was probably, I think, about 3 seconds a lap quicker than anyone else around him. That is the benefit of using those soft tyres. Those fresh tyres. He'll catch Reflection. He will probably catch the back of the 2 Williamses, to be honest, because they are, Ginner at least, is struggling massively with rear end traction. So we will see. It is all kicking off lower down the grid. It is all kicking off here in ALR. We still have 9 laps to go, but lower down the grid, it is still anyone's game, as Mushroom has fallen back out of Equaz's DRS range. Equaz has stayed within Percy's. That could spell the end for Mushroom's bid for a podium, but we have the braking zone of 14. Doesn't really close in too much. Is he going to get into DRS range? He will. Does burn a bit of battery on the exit to just inch into DRS range by the slimmest of margins. Run the final corner, he is back in DRS range, but I don't think it's going to do much. He's not got much battery left to play with. As we head on to lap 48, gap is 6.2 between the leaders. R2 Beat looks increasingly likely to put it into P1 to win the race. At the moment, the Alpine got P2 in last week's Melbourne Grand Prix in Australia. Can he take that top spot and what will be the championship lead? Because Equaz, as it stands, will lose it because he will finish 3rd. As Legend has already got past Reflection, it is already clear of the Mercedes. Sorry, had a brain fart. Need a quick sip of drink. Keep me going. It has been long. My voice is straining. Legend, look at the gap. Look at the gap he can pull already on the Mercedes. He probably will take back 7th position. It is a fantastic idea from Legend, especially as these tyres get older and older. 26 laps. As Vintage fastest lap of the race on those fresh soft tyres. I cannot wait to ask the top 3 what their tyre wear was at the end of this race, because I think it will be very close to the puncture range by the end of it. Not expecting any more pit stops unless we have a late safety car or punctures. Everyone is going to make the choice now to go to the end. Oh, pardon me, I apologise. Go to the end on the tyres they are on. Driver of the day vote is live in the chat. Mushroom, Percy, R2 Beat and Coop are your nominees. I would argue that they are all fantastic nominees. They've all had fantastic races in their own ways. My personal vote will go to Percy, though. He had a 5-place grid penalty. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That is, I think, it's not Reflection, it's that's gone again. Percy, he was 6th, had a 5-place, went down to 11th, had a spin early on. He's back up into P2, and he's starting to pull away from Equaz. Gap coming down just to under 6 seconds for the first time since he took P2. But we'll have to see if he can truly pull away from the Haas behind. I'm sure Mushroom is willing, Percy on, to get away from Equaz. Equaz doesn't have DRS, which gives Mushroom more of a chance to attack the Haas. To be honest, if you're Equaz and Mushroom, you've got to try and think about saving ERS for last couple of laps. Sprint dash to the end of the race. Just push as hard as you can. Don't think whether there's going to be a factor. The clouds that I can see gathering over the track have given away a bit to blue sky. So we will remain sunny for the race. We will remain sunny for the foreseeable future. Equaz has remained within DRS. I think Percy is better in Sector 1, but I think Equaz is better in Sector 2, and that is the difference being made. That will be possibly enough to keep Serious Mushroom at bay in 4th position. As I said, if you're these guys, you're going to try and save as much ERS as possible, so you have a lot to play for in the last couple of laps. That does, of course, come at a risk of losing time, because obviously going into none is a very detrimental ERS mode to use. As they come now down onto lap 50, 6 laps to go in the Chinese Grand Prix, and it is looking like it will be a victory for R2 Beat. He'll do one better than he did last week. Lucas Percy's had a fantastic recovery drive from 11th to 2nd. Equaz in 3rd, Mushroom 4th. These guys are very well clear of Marsky in P5, who himself is now cleared of the 2 Williamses, who were a major thorn on his side for a long part of that race. Legend is not too far behind. Legend is really pushing onward. He is doing a fantastic job here on those fresh mediums. He is catching those Williamses hand over fist. I do think he could get Marsky by the end of this race. Look, he's gained 2 tenths through 3 tenths through one corner alone. It is just rapid pace on those fresh tyres. So I think he will get Marsky again by the end of this race. Marsky with a 100% battery, so he's just pootling around, to be honest. I mean, he's got not under attack from Cooper behind, and he can save battery for when Legend gets onto the back of him. Because Legend will have to go through the 2 Williamses before he can get to Marsky. But I don't think that'll be too difficult. I think it'll be pretty easy going for the Haas driver. Onto the back straight again for the leaders. You can see the Alpine of RTB at the end of the straight, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You can see them all, top 4 in your picture. Marsky is a long way back in the Ferrari, as Equaz has a little look to the inside, look to the outside, nothing doing for him there. He's going to stick behind for as much as he can, for as long as he can, potentially for a last lap overtake. If you want to do well here, you'll want to do it on the last lap. You'll want to do it when you have the DRS for the last time, that benefit of the DRS down the back straight for the last time. Will we see some DRS chicken? I think that is pretty likely. I apologise if my voice is starting to go. I have been talking for 2 hours. It is not the easiest thing to do in the world, but I've enjoyed every lap of this race, and I hope everyone in chat here has too, and I hope everyone watching this back is enjoying this as well. It has been a thoroughly entertaining race, and I think Japan with no hard tyres is going to be just as exciting next week. Kamara got to the side of Vessier, those fresh tyres that do the Alpine well, but he's gone straight. He's stopped. He has stopped at the end of the straight, and there's another yellow. That is Kiki gone again. Not sure what that was from Kamara, to be honest. He just looked like he just kind of went, yeah, he just kind of gave up. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. He got past Vessier, and just kind of went, yeah, you know what, I'm good. Okay, yeah, not sure what happened there. He's lost a lot of time. He's back behind Ginger Age. Ginger Age doing very well in P11, as Legend has caught up to the back, more or less, of the 2 Williamses on those very fresh medium tyres. I think he'll be through them pretty quickly, and he has to be for his own race if he wants to get. He was in P5. If he wants to get P5 back, he needs to get past these Williamses. Kiki back in the pits after that latest spin for the V-Carve driver. I think there's a lot of definitely. Oh, look at this! He's gained so much time. Jinner's had a horrific sector 2. Is Jinner going to be within DRS of his own teammate? Oh, he is not. He's not going to be in DRS, and that's going to give Legend all the impetus he needs. You can see Legend almost wanting to push the Williams around the final corner. He will have DRS very shortly. on Jinner, who will not have it on his teammate. Around the outside is Legend. He'll get a distant toe from Coop, and Jinner falls to 8th. Not much he could do, to be honest. Legend's offside. Look how late Legend could break, and he went into the back of Coop. I think that's how much better his tyres are. And if he can get past Coop this lap, that will do wonders for him, going into P5 ahead of Marvsky. A little bit wide, though, through the last corner. I don't think that's quite what he would have wanted. But Coop is harvesting. Legend's going to go for the outside. He'll have the better tyres. He backs out of it. The Jinner says, thank you very much. You don't want to fight my teammate. I'll try and take you back. As I go round the outside into turn 1. Jinner is still there. Into 2. He does stay behind the Haas. The Haas is going to get better traction. I wouldn't be surprised if we see potentially a dive bomb into turn 6, because he's going to have a much better run out of it, much better tyres, much better braking ability. Is Legend going to go for it into turn 6? No. Thinks better of it for now. But he needs to get a wiggle on. If he wants to catch Marvsky, he needs to get past the Williams this lap. Otherwise, he might be in a bit of trouble. Speaking of trouble, Equaz is only 4/10 off the back of Lucas Percy. The top 3, second, third, and fourth, covered by less than a second. And this could be Equaz's attempt to get back ahead of Percy, give him the dirty air, get Equaz some clean airs. Oh-hoo-hoo! Bit of a late move there from Lucas Percy. Went to the inside, forces Equaz to go even further up the inside. But a nice move from the Hash driver up into P2. He takes back his second place in the points. It's a Legend. I think it's going to get past Coop here before he even gets round to the DRS zone. Such is the pace advantage of the Haas on that tyre. Up the inside he will go. No fuel lights for anyone at all. No. Oh, Evan is good. Legend up. Well past Coop before he gets into the braking zone. That is him. P6, 4 seconds to gap to Marvsky. I can imagine this will be pretty easy going for Legend to catch up to the back of the Ferrari car. He now has clear air in front of him. Coop will have DRS down the start-finish straight, but there will not be much he can do with the tyre offset that Haas has. Into turn 1 for the 5th to last time. It has been a great race here in ALR. As my girlfriend is indeed in the chat saying she's had a lovely quiet evening. She's enjoying herself far too much. My voice is starting to go. I hope you have enjoyed this race so far. I know I have had a lot of action on track. And it's still some more to come, because Lucas Percy is all over the back of the Haas of Equaz, and he has a lot of battery to play with. I think they all do, really, apart from Mushroom. Equaz has a lot of battery. They all have a lot of battery to play for. They all want to save it for that last lap push, where they will be in overtake and hot lap mode for as long and as much as possible. Going now into lap 53, we're going to head on to the lap as... Oh, hello, Mushroom. Mushroom here. Going to have a go, potentially. He is up the inside of Lucas Percy. Backs out of it, trying to maybe force Percy into a mistake. Can't quite get it done. That was a prime opportunity, potentially, for Mushroom to get further up into this DRS train. He is in the best car of all these guys. That Red Bull is going to be a lot quicker than a Sauber and a Haas. Probably a lot nicer on its tyres too. Lap 54, 56. 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go here in the Chinese Grand Prix, and it is bubbling up to be a very exciting end to this race. We have a battle for 2nd, a battle for 5th, a battle for 11th. Yay. But it's a battle for 2nd and 5th that we will stick with for the most part. Legend has halved that gap to Marvsky. I think it might be a last lap overtake, last lap lunge. He doesn't have much battery to play with, though, so he does have some work to do. These guys have all done 30 plus laps on their hard tyres. I cannot wait to ask the question about how much tyre wear they had at the end of this race, because it will be, I am sure, astronomically high. As they come round the long left-hander. Long left-hander. Into the right-hander as well. Braking heavily. Round the long right. Into the heavy braking zone. Come on, guys. There's a couple laps to go. Percy has fallen back a bit. Is he trying to save battery? What is his plan here? RTB has this race wrapped up pretty much. Legend is about to get onto Marvsky's tail as well. That will be another DRS potential overtake in the last couple of laps here. On those fresh and medium tyres, the strategy did pay off for him. He has been able to get back up into the position in which he started this race. As Lucas Percy on the back of Equaz, he's too far back to make a move this lap. He's got a couple more attempts at it, as RTB will start the penultimate lap of this race. He does indeed. Penultimate lap, he has seemed very assured ever since it dried up again. He took the lead back from Equaz, and he has held onto it ever since. They come now down into the first couple of corners, and Legend has got past Marsky. There's not a shocker there. He's on much superior tyres. Goes to show that the chassis could have worked if anyone else had chosen to do it, because he is back up to where he was, and I'm sure he will pull away from Marsky a ton in the last 2 laps here. 2 laps to go, 2 more attempts at every corner of this track. Drivers will be tired, tyres will be exhausted, cars will be tired as well. Nicely pitted again for what I will assume will be an attempt at the fastest lap of this race. But it is RT Beach. He's going to take the maximum points he can without fastest lap. Who does have the fastest lap at the moment? It is Vintage with the fastest lap right now. Yellow flag again. I think that was for Kiki. I think it would have been Kiki. Yes, Kiki has gone off yet again in the V-carb. So here we go, penultimate lap. You don't really want to go for it now. You want to wait till next lap. But Lucas Percy has a 7/10 gap to Equaz. He will use a bit of battery just to make sure he gets onto the back of the Haas. Too far back to make a move now. Mushroom is not too far behind. R2B is about to start the final lap of the race. 56 laps. 56 laps have been begun for him as Mad Max sets the fastest lap of the race. And obviously I'm sure we'll try and have something to say about that. Kiki's going to have something to say about that. But Kiki's timed it wrong. He's going to go down a lap. Kiki's not going to get an attempt for his fastest lap because he's gone a lap down. So this is the last lap of the race. He will not get an attempt at the fastest lap. Pardon me, Lucas Percy all over the back of Equaz. This is going to be the battle we are all going to look for as they now come onto this straight. Are they all? You might as well just stick it in harvest for the entire lap, to be honest. If you want your rival to pass you, they're not going to pass you before the DRS. They don't want to do that. You might as well deploy the Truly train on this place in this time, the Equaz cargo ship train, because that is what you want to be like. You want to be like a cargo ship. You want to save as much energy as possible. Percy's back end is stepping out. Those rear tyres on the kick tab are complaining. This is where he span at the start of the race. He has made it through here perfectly fine. But it's going to be one last push. He needs to get everything he can. He's got lots of battery. So does Equaz. Mushroom, not so much. Mushroom, I think, is not going to be a factor unless these two decide to make love into the turn 14 hairpin. It is going to be Lucas Percy with the DRS, with the battery, with the slipstream. It's going to be Equaz with the clean track ahead of him. They both have barely in the ERS differential. Percy already onto the blaster, but Equaz has had a good run out of the final corner. Here we go, up to the DRS line. This is where Percy will have the advantage. Is there anything he can do now? This is it. 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 3 tenths. I think he's too far back. He doesn't make the lunge. He does make the lunge. He's too far back. He can't do it. He can't do it. But who can do it? R2 Beat can. He rounds the final corner. He rounds the final corner. He wins here in China. He takes the win. It is going to be Equaz in the Haas. He won't quite win it, but he will keep P2. Lucas Percy recovers to 3rd. Serious Mushroom recovers to 4th. Legend in the other Haas from the front row to P5. He will be disappointed with that, I am sure, but he cannot complain too much. P5 strong points for the Haas team overall. Marsky will follow him home in P6 as they round the final corner. 56 laps done. Well done to everyone that has finished. Very proud of everyone. They've done a fantastic job. Marsky crosses the line. Coop is going to come home in P7. General cross line P8. I think he will keep P8 because I think everyone behind him has lots of penalties. Knowsley gets the 3 seconds for channel limits on the last lap. Reflection rounds the final corner to come home in P9. Kamaro will not keep P10. He has a penalty. Vessier will take P10 away from him. Kamaro had that weird issue where he just sort of stopped at the last corner because he just did. Kamaro into P10. But not for long because Vessier takes it, and so does Ginger Rage. Ginger Rage, a respectable P11, Vintage P12, Kamaro P13. Vatsa will be ruining what could have been in 14th. Mad Max is going to come in 15th. Knowsley's lost position to Kiki at the final corner. He went for a spin and has lost out. He will finish dead last. So unlucky for him. Mad Max did just about unlap himself at the end of the race there. So good job from Mad Max to finish the race. Good job from everyone who did finish the race. 2 retirements, 2 pits and quits, no safety cars. Good job, ALR, 100%. My girlfriend is indeed applauding, I can confirm. I would love to pull up the race results, but I can't because I'm facing a black screen. But it is R2Beat who wins, it is Equaz second, and it is Lucas Percy third. I hope someone can get the results because I've got a black screen. So, well done everyone. I am going to invite them to the party unless they're already in. Actually, I don't know if I can because I don't know if I have any of these guys as friends. I don't think I do. I have Kiki. I think that's it. I think he's the only one I have. Yeah, Kiki's the only one I have. So that's always good fun. What a sweaty day. What a sweaty day. I will wait to see if anyone joins for interviews. Not sure how it quite works because I'm using a different setup. I'm not quite sure how interviews are going to work. If they're going to be able to be heard on stream. If, I don't know. But I shall wait and see if they do. Anyone joins. I'm very warm. I'm very warm and sweaty. So it was. Oh no, that's the theatre. That's not. I did not want to go into that. Oh no, I pressed one thing again. No, I. Sorry guys. Whoopsie. I don't want any of this stuff. I don't care about any of this stuff. There we go. Show I think it's going to be quiet, but it was the BWT Alpine of R2Beat who did win. I don't like this livery, but he did a great job. Oh, R2Beat wants to be my friend. That's fantastic. I'm glad we can be friends. What a comeback by Percy. Fantastic comeback by Percy. Fantastic job by you, Mushroom. You were quick there. Very close to a podium. Well done. Well done to everyone that finished, because it is not easy finishing a 100% race, I can assure you. I don't think we're going to have anyone in the party. No one has joined the party as far as I'm aware. So, thank you all. Oh, Equaz is added to the group. I'll see if Equaz jumps in. But yes, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for watching. A few technical issues at the start, but they have been sorted, so it should be a lot smoother next week. So, wait to see if anyone wants to join for interviews. To be honest, after 100% race, I can understand if people don't want to join. To be honest, it is tiring doing 100%. But while we wait, I will let you all know what next week is. Next week is Japan with a hard tyre ban. It rhymes, so it must be true. Very disappointed we're not doing Mexico in any season this far. Yeah, so Mexico with a hard tyre ban. So, not Mexico, Japan with a hard tyre ban. So that's going to be fun because Japan is pretty high tyre wear. I think no one is going to be joining me tonight, so send me an invite. I have invited you. You have been invited, R2Beat. You have been... I think. No, you haven't. Okay, that's probably why. R2Beat... There he is. I think I sent it. Yeah, okay, there we go. I've sent it. I've sent it now. There he is. R2Beat has joined the party. Let's see. Can he hear me? Can you hear me? No, we can't. Right. Can you hear me? There we go. So R2Beat, our winner this evening. How was that from your point of view? You had a bit of a fight for it. How was that race?